早晨，歡迎各位透過網上直播參加消費者委員會選擇月刊第555期嘅新聞發佈會。今日為我哋主持發佈會嘅有消委會研究及試驗小組主席譚鳳儀教授同埋總幹事黃鳳嫻女士。發佈會會首先以廣東話進行，跟住係一段英文嘅摘要，然後就到提問嘅環節。Good morning. Thank you for joining the Consumer Council's online press conference for Choice Magazine issue number 555. Hosting today's press conference are Professor Nora Tam, Chairman of the Research and Testing Committee of the Consumer Council, and Ms. Gilly Wong, Chief Executive of the Consumer Council. Today's press conference will first be conducted in Cantonese, followed by an English synopsis, and then a Q&A session. 好啦，而家唔阻大家啦，將時間交俾 Professor Tam， 唔該晒。
好，唔該。早晨，大家好，再次歡迎各位傳媒朋友喺網上出席今早消費者委員會嘅旗艦刊物選擇月刊最新一期555期。今日出版嘅發佈會，咁咧啱啱踏入2023年啦。咁首先喺呢度咧，祝大家新年進步，身體健康，工作順利愉快。咁我同消委會總幹事咧喺今期嘅選擇月刊咧揀咗5篇同大家生活息息相關嘅文章，想同大家分享嘅。咁第一篇咧就係洗衣乾衣機啦。咁我諗個個都知道咧，呢一個咁嘅電器咧係好多家庭必備嘅家電之一嚟㗎，因為佢集合咗洗衣同埋乾衣功能。咁呢類嘅洗衣乾衣機咧喺香港係非常之適合，因為香港一般咧家居面積都比較細啦，天氣又潮濕啦，好難揾到啲地方好快咁樣晾乾啲衣物。咁所以咧，我哋買呢啲乾衣洗衣機咧都係好多人嘅產品會選擇嘅。咁我哋買嘅時候，我哋而家希望買一個呢個咁嘅洗衣乾衣機係洗得乾淨啦，又乾衣又徹底啦，又慳電啦，又慳水啦，又好用啦，又平啦。咁所以咧，市面上有好多呢啲唔同嘅型號。但係究竟有冇一個洗衣機可以又洗得好、又乾得好、又平又慳電又呢？咁所以呢，就我哋今期選擇月刊呢，就做咗呢個測試啦。咁我哋會提供一啲資料俾大家嘅。咁希望呢，為咗令大家能夠選擇呢，做一個精明消費者。咁我哋今次呢，就係將呢個資料呢，就做一個短片嘅。咁首先呢，就請去片嚟到睇大家我哋今次到嘅資料嘅濃縮版。好，唔該晒，唔該去片。
桌球1Q 打出147度滿分就梗係最佳表現啦。咁洗衣乾衣機嘅最佳表現又係點計呢？計我話，如果洗得唔乾淨，乾得又唔徹底，件衫又噏又臭，連對手都怕咗你啦，又算唔算係暗黑兵法呢？想知邊款洗衣乾衣機表現最出色，梗係要問消委會啦。佢哋測試咗10款洗衣乾衣機樣本，除咗要洗得乾淨、乾得徹底，仲要慳水又慳電。
以5分最高，所有樣本嘅總評都介乎3.5至到4分，分數睇落差唔多，但係其實不同測試項目嘅表現差異都幾大㗎。加上樣本間嘅售價都幾懸殊，由約5000幾蚊至到超過2萬蚊不等，所以記住要根據自己嘅洗衣習慣去選購最適合你嘅洗衣乾衣機。
洗衫最緊要係乜嘢？梗係要洗得乾淨同過得徹底，千祈唔可以有污漬或者洗衣劑殘留喺衣物度。
最常着嘅衣物通常都係棉質或者人造纖維。喺潔淨效能差異最大嘅清洗人造纖維衣物測試中，我哋用多種污漬去測試，發現表現較好同較差嘅樣本，潔淨比率最多相差接近30%。另外，過水都好重要。能夠沖乾淨衣物上殘留嘅洗衣劑，就稱得上為理想嘅過水表現。喺過水效能差異最大嘅清洗棉質衣物測試中，樣本間嘅過水效能最多相差超過50%咁多。
乾衣同篤波力度一樣，講求準確。啲衫唔夠乾固然唔掂啦，但係烘得太乾又驚整壞件衫。
10款樣本嘅整體表現相當參差，由3分到4.5分不等。呢一款乾唔透啲衫啊！
成日聽人講乾衣好嘥電㗎，乾衣嘅耗電量梗係比洗衣高啦。不過識得揀梗係揀部又慳電又慳水嘅型號啦。
樣本間嘅整體耗電量同埋整體耗水量十分參差，分別最多相差近80%同埋近90%。而且洗衣、乾衣以及洗衣連乾衣3個程序嘅耗電耗水測試結果都唔一樣。仲要留意，慳水慳電又可能未必洗得最乾淨喎。以呢一款為例，以洗衣程序計，佢嘅慳電同慳水程度都只有3分，係最低分嘅樣本之一。不過 佢同時亦都係洗得最乾淨嘅其中一款樣本，喺洗衣潔淨程度得到4.5分，大致洗衫時間越長，乾淨效果越好。不過又用多啲電同水咯。
想有效洗衣同乾衣，記住2大 tips： 一、留意最高洗衣量同最高乾衣量嘅分別，洗完衫要抽走過多嘅衣物，先可以乾透全機衫㗎。2、留意衣物嘅護理標籤，揀選合適嘅洗衣乾衣程序。另外，洗衣乾衣機只要識得保養，就可以延長個使用壽命，減少資源浪費，又慳錢又環保。一齊聽下消委會嘅建議啦！ 1. 定期清理洗衣劑承載格同排水泵過濾器。 2. 定期檢查機門塑膠封邊，清理積聚嘅塵埃。 3. 如果洗衣乾衣機入水時間比平時長，應該檢查入水膠喉同過濾器有冇堵塞。 4. 最後，如果出現異常嘅情況，例如發出異常聲音、氣味或者有過熱嘅跡象等，就要立即停止使用，揾個專業嘅師傅檢查同維修啦。想知道更詳細嘅內容，立即訂閱第555期選擇月刊啦！
好，依家由我補充翻有關呢個洗衣乾衣機有一啲比較詳細嘅資料啦，同埋跟住嗰4篇嘅文章嘅內容嘅。咁正話片都有講啦，咁我哋市面上咧洗衣乾衣機咧普遍咧都係屬於前置式嘅，咁即係我哋俗稱叫大眼雞啦。咁我哋今次咧係測試咗10款洗衣乾衣機嘅，都係屬於呢個前置式。咁價格咧普遍咧由5390蚊到21980蚊不等。咁今次測試嘅項目咧，包括咗各種樣本嘅洗衣同埋乾衣嘅表現啦、慳電同埋慳水嘅程度啦、洗衣同埋乾衣嘅速度等，咁就分咗6個環節嚟到進行嘅，嚟到考驗咧樣本咧喺唔同操作程序處理2種常用嘅物料，即係咧棉質物料同埋人造纖維物料嘅衣物嘅時候，同埋唔同嘅衣物量嘅時候嘅表現。結果咧發現售價最低同埋最高嘅2款樣本咧，同時都係獲得最好嘅4分嘅總評。咁喺洗衣潔淨程度嚟到講咧，我哋今次咧測試咗各種樣本清洗佔有包括血跡啦、茶漬啦、酒漬啦、沙律醬啦、朱古力蛋糕啦、唇膏啦同埋墨水漬等污漬嘅表現。結果發現咗咧樣本之間嘅潔淨程度咧係頗為參差嘅，表現得麻麻地有啲。例如咧喺清洗人造纖維衣物環節之中咧，樣本之間咧反映清洗潔淨程度嘅潔淨比率咧最多係相差約27%。而喺清洗棉質衣物嘅環節之中咧，樣本間嘅潔淨比率高低咧相差亦都達到20%嘅。咁即使係就同一個乾衣洗衣機嘅樣本咧，喺唔同嘅環節嘅表現咧，亦都唔係一致嘅。譬如一款咧樣本喺清洗棉質衣物、清洗人造纖維衣物同埋清洗連汗乾人造纖維衣物3個環節嘅潔淨比率咧，都係各個樣本中最佳。但係喺清洗連汗乾棉質衣物嘅時候咧，就唔係表現最佳啦。咁即係話咧，唔係所有嘢都表現得最好嘅。咁脫水效果越好，咁變相即係可以慳翻啲晾曬啊或者汗乾衣物嘅時間啦。咁我哋今次測試發現咗咧，樣本之間咧嘅脫水效果咧，亦都係非常參差嘅。尤其喺清洗呢個棉質衣物嘅環節之中咧，當比較同一批衣物脫水後同埋乾爽時嘅重量咧，發現咗衣物嘅殘留水分量咧係可以由37%至87%嘅，咁差異咧都相當大。咁乾衣時間咧過長或者溫度過高咧，會有機會令到衣物變形啦、縮水啦，甚至係損壞嘅。相反，如果乾衣嘅時候之後衣物仍然都未乾透喎，咁我哋用戶可能選擇再啟動翻呢個乾衣程序啦，嚟到繼續汗乾啲衫。但係如果咁樣咧，因為當我哋汗乾完第一次之後，個洗衣機嘅溫度已經降低咗啦嘛，咁我哋如果再汗一次，咪要重新再加熱加溫，咁變相咧就會浪費咗能源同埋時間。所以咧，樣本嘅乾衣程度嘅準確度咧係非常之重要嘅。咁我哋測試發現咗咧，樣本間嘅乾衣準確性咧頗為參差。譬如我哋用汗乾棉質衣物環節為例啦，一款樣本汗乾啲衣物之後咧，衣物嘅整體乾度咧同乾爽時嘅乾度咧相當接近，梗係相差0.1%啫。但係另外一個樣本咧就相差可以達到9.4%，咁即係話咧有不少衣物咧係未汗乾嘅。不過即使係同一個樣本喺汗乾唔同物料嘅時候咧，亦都會有不同嘅表現㗎。 喺汗乾棉質衣物環節之中咧，汗乾衣嘅準確性度最高嘅樣本咧，喺汗乾人造纖維嘅衣物嘅時候，同埋清洗連汗乾人造纖維衣物呢個環節之中咧，乾衣之後咧，部分嘅衣物咧係太乾，咁乾咧就唔好啦嚇。乾衣度嘅準確性咧，屬於各種樣本之中咧係最差嘅。咁近期咧，我哋都知道啦，能源價格不斷上升，咁消費者喺挑選呢個洗衣乾衣機嘅時候咧，其實都要睇下佢係咪慳水慳電，用幾多水用幾多電啦。咁呢個都係我哋考慮因素之一嚟嘅。咁樣本之間咧個耗電量咧相差係極大嘅。譬如喺清洗人造纖維衣物環節之中咧，樣本清洗每1公斤嘅耗電量最多可以相差79%。即使係同一個樣本咧，喺唔同環節之中咧，佢嘅慳電程度咧亦都可以好大嘅參差嘅。其中一款樣本咧喺清洗棉質衣物環節之中咧，處理每公斤衣物嘅耗電量屬於樣本之中最低，表現優秀。但係喺汗乾同埋清洗連汗乾嘅合共4個環節之中咧，佢處理每公斤嘅衣物嘅耗電量咧，都係屬於樣本之中最高。咁或者我哋嚟一個比拼下啦，睇一睇啦。咁我哋點樣睇嗰個10款嘅洗衣乾衣機嘅耗電量嘅差異咧？點樣大法咧？咁我哋咧就喺呢個測試環節之中，我哋試咗咧就清洗咗棉質衣物啦，清洗咗人造纖維衣物啦。咁我哋發覺喺清洗嘅時候，每公斤需要耗電量咧最多嘅差異咧，喺棉質衣物嚟講可以73%，而喺人造纖維裏邊咧可以係79%嘅。咁啊汗乾又點樣樣咧？咁同樣做咗2種類型嘅衣物啦。咁喺棉質衣物裏邊咧，相差可以58%，而人造纖維裏邊咧可以相差62%嘅。咁我哋清洗連埋汗乾呢個環節咧，咁亦都係咧，又喺棉質衣物咧係差異咧係50%，人造纖維咧嘅衣物裏邊差異61%。咁所以咧，所有嘅差異咧都會大過50%，即係話型號之間同埋呢個衣物之間，同埋你個選擇你個形式係洗乾啦，因為係洗連埋乾啦，係會好大嘅差異嘅。咁除咗電之外咧，咁我哋都知道啦，咁啊洗衣要用水啦，烘衣服嘅程序都需要用水嘅喎。咁因為咧，我哋係要用水嚟冷卻機內嘅產生嘅濕氣，咁等佢凝聚成為水滴啦。咁收入之後咧，就經排水管排出去嘅。咁我哋發現咧，樣本之間咧，以乾衣程度嘅耗水量差異咧，亦都係好大嘅。喺汗乾棉質衣物同埋汗乾人造纖維衣物嘅環節之中咧，樣本汗乾每1公斤衣物嘅耗水量分別最多咧，可以相差大約83%同埋86%嘅。喺呢2個環節耗水量最高，屬於同一款型號。但係呢個款型號咧喺清洗棉質衣物嘅時候嘅慳水表現咧就係最優秀嘅喎。咁再次反映咗同一樣本咧喺唔同洗衣乾衣程序同埋處理唔同物料嘅時候咧都有唔同嘅表現嘅。咁繁忙嘅時候咧，咁我哋啲消費者都希望咧就係話好快洗完，好快乾完，講我哋速度咧係有所要求嘅。咁我哋今次咧選擇咗，如果我哋選擇洗衣連乾衣嘅程序，有一款樣本咧係能夠喺4個小時之內就完成晒啦。但係有一款樣本咧就要需要超過7個小時先能夠完成呢個整個過程嘅。如果所以咧消費者要注意啦，我哋洗衣時間嘅長短咧，唔係淨係揀選呢個洗衣乾衣機嘅唯一考慮嚇，因為正話我哋講咗好多其他嘢啦。咁測試量度咧就包括咗各種樣本喺洗衣階段，唔包括過水同埋脫水所需要嘅時間。大致而言，洗衣時間越長，衣物普遍咧係越乾淨嘅洗得。另外咧，雖然唔少洗衣乾衣機裏邊都設有快速洗衣同埋快速洗衣連乾衣程序，但係一般咧只係適合處理咧少量，譬如話2公斤以下嘅衣物，同埋唔係太污糟嘅衣物嘅。咁我哋知道啦，洗衣乾衣機咧其實都好貴嘅，正話我講咧，即係少少地都幾千蚊，如果多咧係過萬蚊。咁但係我哋又會講唔同型號嘅喺不同環節嘅測試咧各有高低喎。咁我哋又洗潔嘅程度又唔一樣啦，乾衣程度又唔一樣啦，慳電慳水程度又唔一樣啦。咁我哋依家咧就嚟一個大比拼啦。咁我哋今次咧就係做咗呢10個樣款咧，都係以5分為最高分嘅。咁即係越靠近5分咧，就表現越優秀。咁你睇到我哋有 A 至到 J 嘅型號，咁你睇到咧 A 型號喺洗衣程度咧就4.5分高分啦，但係咧佢喺乾衣程度啊、慳電慳水啦，只係4分嘅啫。咁同樣咧有一啲咧就喺洗衣，譬如 C 型號洗衣咧就得4分，但係佢喺乾衣程度咧4.5分，但係慳電咧得3.5分。咁即係話咧，我哋依家喺市面上咧，我哋好難揾到一個型號咧係所有嘅表現都係最優秀。 咁大家喺選擇嘅時候咧，就要睇我哋選擇熱項啦。我哋有一個好清楚嘅表咧，係話俾大家聽你自己需要乜嘢嘢。譬如我注重洗衣嘅乾淨程度，我就揀最好嘅表現。如果我覺得我乾衣好重要嘅，準確度好重要，我就揀呢一行裏邊最高分。咁呢個咧，希望可以俾大家提供一啲 tips 嘅。咁當然除咗呢啲 tips 之外咧，我哋用呢個洗衣機啦，咁我哋都希望咧，盡量咧就係話要可以長啲壽命啦，可以達到可持續消費嘅原則啦。咁所以咧就要正確使用呢個同埋保養呢個洗衣機嘅。咁以下咧俾兩個 tips 大家點樣保養同埋點樣正確使用啦。咁洗衣乾衣機咧，其實聲稱嘅最高乾衣量咧，較其他聲稱嘅最高洗衣量咧係為低嘅。咁如果咧清洗較多衣物嘅時候咧，就需要咧洗衣程序完結之後咧，先將啲衫咧部分嘅衫攞咗出嚟，咁然之後先去乾佢嘅。如果唔係咧，太多衫喺裏邊咧，就乾得唔夠徹底啦，因為你會超出咗呢個乾衣量嘅負荷，咁啊影響乾衣嘅效果。第二咧，我哋應該按照你個洗衣嘅物料種類同埋污糟嘅程度，將衣物分類，然之後按照說明書咧揀擇適合嘅操作程序，咁咧就可以做到咧又慳水又慳電，亦都可以保養好件衣物，亦都可以洗得又乾淨，乾得又徹底啦。咁呢個咧就關於今次咧就洗衣乾衣機嘅一啲介紹。咁第二篇文章咧就係好多人都好有興趣嘅，就係雞精啦。咁咧就因為我哋香港人咧就生活繁忙啦，咁好多時都要捱更抵夜，就要提神啦。咁所以唔少人咧都會服用呢啲咁嘅所謂雞精產品，即係健康保健品啦。咁雞精產品咧，正如我講係屬於健康保健食品啦。咁聲稱咧就含有多種嘅營養素，咁有助增強抵抗力同埋提神呢啲功效。咁消費者委員會咧就市面上較常見嘅15種預先包裝嘅傳統雞精啦、滴雞精啦、熬雞精啦同埋素滴雞精，就進行咗安全同埋營養元素嘅含量測試。結果顯示咧，大部分樣本咧都好似聲稱咁嘅，屬於高蛋白質嘅食物。但係相對原型食品，譬如雞肉啦、雞蛋或者牛奶等嘅蛋白質含量較雞精嘅更高嘅可以，而且咧雞精每一次食用咧份量較少啦，咁所以實際咧你攝入咗嘅蛋白量咧，其實可能比你食自然啊或者我哋叫做原型嘅食品咧係更加低嘅。咁消委會咧係從主要零售店咧搜集咗15款市面上較常見嘅預先包裝好嘅雞精樣本，包括咗1款咧就傳統雞精啦，10款咧滴雞精啦，3款就牛雞精，同埋1款咧係素滴雞精。咁每一盒嘅售價咧係由188蚊至到990蚊，以每次食用嘅份量計算咧，售價咧就係大約係11個7毫半到133蚊不等，咁相差咧係10倍嘅。咁我哋今次咧就做一啲測試啦。咁我哋測試結果顯示咧，就14款液體嘅雞精樣本咧之中咧有超過90%嘅樣本係高蛋白質食物，即係話咧每100毫升嘅液體食物咧含有不少於6毫克嘅蛋白質。含量最低嘅一款嘅樣本咧，每100毫升咧就只係含有5.3克嘅蛋白質。咁咧就與含量最高嘅樣本比較咧，佢係每100克咧可以有12.9克嘅蛋白質。咁你會睇到咧相差係超過1.4倍嘅。固體嘅素滴雞精咧係唯一嘅樣本嚟嘅。咁每100克嘅蛋白質咧含量達到14.7克，亦都係屬於高蛋白質嘅食物。咁傳統雞精、滴雞精同埋熬雞精嘅高溫係喺高溫嘅高壓之下製作過程進行，咁啊取代咗咧人體裏邊需要消化蛋白質酵素嘅消化作用。對於消化蛋白質酵素分泌異常嘅病人，或者可以減低佢對消化系統嘅負擔。但係如果有特別需要嘅人士，譬如病人啦、手術後嘅人士啦，咁喺飲用之前咧，應該係諮詢醫生或者註冊營養師嘅意見，咁慎重考慮咧自己嘅身體咧係咪適合進食呢個雞精嘅。咁唔少嘅雞精產品咧都會標榜佢含有多種嘅氨基酸，其中咧支鏈氨基酸咧係屬於必須嘅氨基酸，就有減少咗肌肉疲勞嘅功能，有助舒緩運動之後嘅肌肉酸痛啦。咁係運動健身人士咧常用嘅補充劑嘅。咁測試結果咧發現咗液體樣本嘅總支鏈氨基酸含量咧係介乎每100毫升咧係0.275克至到0.939克，相差咧又係2.4倍嘅。而固體素滴雞精樣本咧就係每100克咧就含有2.03克嘅總支鏈氨基酸。咁消費者咧就要留意啦，唔同類型同埋品牌嘅雞精產品咧，每次食嘅份量都唔同嘅。 咁咧以固體樣本為例啦，每一包食用嘅份量咧只係4克嘅啫。咁所以我哋食用一份嘅呢個固體雞精嘅樣本咧，只能夠進食咗0.081克嘅總支鏈嘅氨基酸。咁而液體滴雞精咧嘅樣本嘅平均總支鏈嘅氨基酸含量咧係每100毫升咧係有0.45克嘅。咁每一包平均食用咧大約嘅份量咧係58毫升。咁所以我哋食用一份呢啲咁嘅液體滴雞精嘅樣本咧，就進食咗0.261克嘅總支鏈氨基酸。咁所以即係話我哋唔可以睇到每包有幾多嚟到作準，我哋要睇我哋每次食有幾多。但係我哋另一個角度睇，消費者咧係留意人體咧必須嘅9種氨基酸啦，其實可以用喺唔同嘅食物啦都會有嘅，包括魚啦、雞蛋啦、牛啦、豬啦、乳製品啦，當然係成隻雞啦、大豆同埋其他製品都可以攝取，所以咧唔一定要食呢個雞精。咁測試發現咧，全部樣本咧都屬於非高鈉食品，即係鹽嘅含量唔高嘅。咁有一款樣本咧就有無鹽嘅標示，但係佢嘅鈉含量並不符合無鹽或者無鈉食物嘅水平。咁咧相關資料咧已經係俾咗食安中心咧去跟進㗎啦。咁7款樣本咧都冇驗出脂肪嘅。咁另外7款咧樣本每100毫升或者每100克咧只係得0.1至0.3克嘅脂肪。咁所以符合咧我哋話唔含脂肪或者零脂肪或者無脂肪等嘅字眼。咁咧就其實咧雞精咧其實成日聲稱咧自己含有高蛋白質，咁但係咧係咪真係又平又靚又含有高蛋白質咧？咁我哋就會做一個比試啦。咁我哋咧就話我哋其實食呢個雞精就係想補充呢個蛋白質嘅啫嘛。咁但係你會發覺咧，其實好多我哋所謂原形嘅食品或者天然食品咧，譬如雞肉啦、雞蛋啦、即係雞腿肉啦、雞蛋啦、其實牛奶啦等等都含有豐富嘅蛋白質嘅。咁譬如我哋用一個去皮嘅雞腿肉嚟到做㗎，我哋食100克咧，其實需要咧5.8，即係5個8嘅啫。咁但係咧攝取咗足夠嘅26.3克嘅蛋白質。咁但係如果我哋咧係食雞蛋，當然一隻雞蛋冇咁多啦，26.3克。咁我哋要食咧係比較4隻雞蛋或者多啲咧，但係需要嘅錢咧12蚊嘅啫。但係如果我哋話我哋揀雞精啦，咁咧我哋如果用一個素滴雞精呢個固體咧，咁我哋咧就要1710蚊先至可以攞到咧係26.3克嘅蛋白質。咁即係同我哋用雞腿比較咧係有290倍嘅分別。嗱，俾到好多錢。咁我哋用呢個牛雞精啦，咁啊平啲啦，咁我哋就332蚊先至可以攞到26.3克嘅蛋白質。咁啊，從呢個雞髀比較咧，就係56倍嘅差異。咁一滴雞精咧就係要295蚊，咁啊差異都係俾咗50倍嘅錢嘅。咁所以咧傳統雞精咧就係俾得即係似啲雞肉啦，咁就有8倍嘅價錢嘅差異嘅。咁所以當我哋消費者去買嘅時候咧，我哋要考慮下咧。我哋需要啲乜嘢？如果我哋需要呢個補充蛋白質咧，其實可能有時咧原形嘅食物咧都可以達到我哋需要嘅蛋白質。咁係咪咧衡量下係咪值得咧係花額外嘅金錢咧係購買呢啲雞精產品？咁我哋一路都鼓推咧，其實係均勻嘅飲食同埋原形嘅食物咧係更好嘅。咁我哋都比較咗咧今次測試咧係唔同樣本嘅營養標籤，咁佢哋嘅標示值同埋測試結果咧。我哋發現咗咧3款樣本咧唔符合技術指引要求。咁一款樣本嘅蛋白質含量測試結果咧係低於標示值22.9%。咁2款樣本嘅就話自己嘅鈉含量咧係測試結果咧係分別高於標示值嘅22.5%同埋29.9%嘅。咁消委會強調咧，獲得正確嘅產品信息資訊咧係消費者嘅基本權利嚟㗎。而作為保健食品咧，營養標籤咧係消費者判斷呢個產品係咪適合自己身體狀況嘅重要嘅信息嚟㗎。加上咧雞精產品咧未必適合所有人食用，咁消委會建議代理商或者進口商喺包裝上面咧標示食用呢啲產品嘅禁忌同埋注意事項。咁當我哋要選擇呢啲食用呢啲或者買呢啲咁嘅雞精產品嘅時候咧，我哋要注意一啲事項嘅。咁記住咧，就係雞精咧屬於保健食品，所以建議一般消費者咧係注意呢啲產品咧係咪切合自己營養需要。咁正常健康人士，包括長者、孕婦或者產後婦女咧，只要保持均衡飲食，都應該能夠咧攝取足夠嘅營養同埋蛋白質。 唔應該咧以呢啲產品咧代替正餐。第二咧，高血壓患者、痛風者、腎功能較弱嘅慢性腎臟病患者、無法正常代謝呢個支鏈氨基酸嘅楓糖尿症患者、消化系統異常、營養不良或者有特別營養需要嘅人士，以及病人或者手術後咧喺食用雞精之前或者雞精產品之前咧，應該係諮詢醫生或者註冊營養師嘅意見。咁呢個係關於呢個雞精嘅。咁第三篇文章咧，其實都好多人有興趣㗎啦，就係關於呢個交友嘅程式啦。究竟私隱程度係點咧？咁為咗方便大家明白呢一個我哋測試，其實呢個係我哋嘅調查結果係咩嘢咧？我哋做一個短片，就等大家睇睇個片先。咁然之後咧就可以更加明白我哋測試結果。依家唔該去片啦。
喂，呢個正喎，match 佢啦！就快過年，你咪驚俾啲姨媽姑姐笑你幾時結婚拍拖啊？
唉，咪就係咯，所以啊，而家先要玩下交友 app 啊，睇下會唔會揾到 first love 啊嘛。
輕鬆啦，我咪一個成功嘅例子咯。嗱，你而家都 download 咗個 app 啦，咪 upload 多幾張相，填翻個人資料同埋興趣。#dream#hiking 緣分呢啲嘢啊，話嚟就嚟㗎啦。
但係都唔可以咁隨便啦，係咪？話晒都係自己私隱啊！你睇下啲資料擺咗上去，個個都見到。如果俾個 app 攞嚟做推廣或者促銷，咪好麻煩。
冇錯啦，喺註冊交友 app 賬戶之前咧，我哋要去睇清楚有關條款及細則以及私隱政策嘅文件，去了解翻有關平台佢去處理我哋個人資料上面嘅措施同埋手法，特別係我哋取消訂閱之後，佢哋係點樣處理我哋個人資料嘅咧？你 download 咗咁多個 app， 你有冇了解清楚佢個收費計劃㗎？
咪就係咯，都已經 down 咗咁多個 app 咯。唉，但係啲收費真係好難明啊！一個 app 有幾個 plan 都算啦，個 plan 包嘅嘢都唔同，好難捉摸啊！
消費者應該按照自己嘅需要去訂閱唔同嘅付費嘅服務。雖然訂閱期越長，性價比普遍會越高，但係都要睇清楚其他條款㗎。例如服務計劃係咪設有自動續訂機制？若果到時已經唔需要玩個 app，就要妥善去取消訂閱，以免喺唔知情嘅情況下繼續被收費啦。提提大家，單純 delete 呢個 app 並唔代表提出終止服務㗎。喂，約到人出嚟見面未啊？
唉，就係未啊！我已經 upload 咗好多張相啦，match 唔到嘅。
咁未必關你事嘅，樣衰都唔係罪過嚟啫。不過等我一個中伏經驗豐富嘅人俾定嘅 tips 你啦。千祈唔好對素未謀面嘅人提供任何形式嘅金錢援助。第一次見面嘅時候要注意個人嘅安全。如果中途覺得唔對路，或者對方無故提議前往美容院或者醫療診所等等嘅高危推銷場所，就要小心警惕，甚至終止約會啦。另外，交友 app 一般都設有取消配對或者封鎖用戶嘅功能。如果配對之後覺得受到滋擾，就可以利用有關嘅功能同對方斷絕聯繫啦。
啱啊！
其實要識朋友或者揾另一半，除咗用交友 app， 仲有好多方法㗎。透過唔同嘅聚會、做義工，甚至係報讀興趣班等等，都可以擴闊生活圈子。緣分話嚟就嚟。
好，依家由我咧就再介紹下呢個關於交友 Apps 嘅問題啦。咁消委會嘅職員咧喺舊年10月至12月咧，就用一般消費者嘅身份咧下載同埋試用咗9個較受香港人歡迎嘅交友應用程式啦，即係我哋叫交友 Apps 啦。全部咧都係需要註冊方咧會提供呢個服務嘅。咁有一個咧只係需要填寫性別同埋電話號碼咧，即刻可以就開帳戶㗎啦。有2個咧就要求咧提達多達12項嘅個人資料。其中一個程式咧更要求咧用戶咧回答多條與自身價值觀相關嘅問題。咁註冊過程咧係相對繁複嘅。咁要知道咧對象係咪合眼緣，檢視佢嘅照片咧，或者係更為或者最為直接。有6個程式咧規定用戶必須上載清晰可見嘅面照啦。如果冇相片咧顯示用戶面容咧，有機會導致帳戶咧就被封鎖。咁喺全部9個交友嘅應用程式裏邊咧，都預設咗將用戶個人資料咧用於推廣或者促銷等目的。但係只有8個應用程式嘅私隱政策咧有定明相關嘅用途。 餘下一個嘅程式嘅指出咧，用戶提供嘅個人資料咧，僅作提供服務、設計活動、內容、內部營運參考，統計之中或者用嚟統計嘅。咁咧字眼上咧與推廣或者促銷咧似乎冇直接嘅關係，但係當消委會查詢嘅時候咧就回覆話，推廣促銷亦都包括喺裏邊㗎。調查嘅應用程式之中咧，僅有3個咧可讓用戶咧係退出以上嘅安排。咁係近90%嘅，即係有8個嘅應用程式咧都可以免費提供咧2至6個基本篩選條件。咁包括咧性別啦、年齡啦、距離啦、居住地啦、語言等。其中一個程式咧就更加能夠提供多達16個嘅篩選條件。咁包括埋咧年薪同埋總資產等嘅。有6個交友嘅應用程式嘅訂閱計劃咧，另有提供咧係進階篩選功能。咁普遍咧選項包括身高啦、教育程度啦、交友目的啦、生育計劃啦、生活習慣等等嘅。假如帳戶長時間被閒置，有6個程式咧或者會自動停用或者刪除有關用戶嘅檔案。咁佢訂立嘅閒置期咧可以由180日至30個月不等。之後咧，商戶一般會按照私隱政策保存有關用戶嘅資料咧係28日至不多於180日後先至予以銷毀。但係如果用戶咧係因為違規行徑而遭封鎖帳戶咧，有3個程式咧就會將你嘅資料咧保留咧係1年嘅，以備調查不法或者不良行為。有3個交友程式咧就冇註明用戶嘅個人資料保存期。經消委會嘅職員咧去查詢之後咧，只有1個咧係作出有關補充，另外2個咧都冇回覆啦。咁即係話咧喺處理用戶資料嘅透明度咧係有待改善嘅。咁全部調查嘅交友程式咧都係唔會收基本嘅收費嘅，即係基本功能咧就唔收費嘅。但係用戶如果想使用額外功能啦，就可以用呢個訂閱收費計劃。基本訂閱嘅計劃咧收費係介乎每一個月78蚊至235蚊，分別提供4至6種功能。咁一般包括咧係更多按讀讚嘅次數啦，更多按讚嘅次數啦，增加曝光等。咁進階訂閱計劃嘅收費咧就較高嘅，咁功能咧可以達到7至11個，包括咧係探索更多用戶啦、重新聯繫失效嘅配對或者對話邀請等。月費咧就138蚊至468蚊不等。不過訂閱選項原來咧都係男女有別嘅收費。其中一個交友程式為例啦，女性用戶咧雖然只有1個訂閱計劃可供選擇，但係無需訂閱咧亦都可以同男性咧用戶交談。相反，男性用戶咧需要3個訂閱計劃可以選擇，但係必須訂閱之後咧先能夠同閱讀女性用戶發出嘅訊息同埋佢嘅互動。咁有見海外消費者組織曾經發現咧，個別交友應用程式會按照用戶嘅年齡等因素，向不同嘅用戶咧作出差價嘅或者差別嘅定價。消委會咧就職員因此咧註冊咗一系列嘅帳戶，涵蓋咗18至68歲嘅用戶。咁結果顯示咧，呢個交友程式嘅6個唔同年齡嘅帳戶之中，出現咗3種價格差異嘅組合。被收取最高價錢咧就係38歲嘅帳戶，次高咧係18歲同埋58歲，最低咧就係28歲、48歲同埋68歲嘅用戶。咁我以訂閱12個月嘅服務計劃，測試中咧38歲嘅用戶啦，38歲嘅帳戶訂閱3個唔同嘅服務計劃嘅時候咧，佢嘅費用咧係較收費最低嘅群組咧，分別係高出34%、21%同埋42%嘅。咁跟住調查結果咧，同英國消費者組織嘅發現相似。呢類嘅咁嘅交友程式咧，會向不同用戶咧係實施價格分歧。澳洲消費者組織咧，亦都係曾經報導咧，呢啲程式嘅定價咧嘅機制，可能咧唔淨係考慮用戶嘅年齡、作業系統、裝置地點，甚至係個人興趣咧，都有機會咧係釐定收費嘅條件。咁嘅運算方式咧係相當繁複嘅。咁消委會咧檢視呢啲程式嘅條款同埋細則，發現當中咧只係陳述收費受多種因素而定，喺差別定價方面嘅解説咧係乏善可陳。咁資訊咧係極不透明。咁當消委會向呢一個交友程式查詢嘅時候咧，商戶咧亦都未有給予任何嘅回應。咁做法咧係令人失望。咁消委會認為咧，人工智能係一個雙刃劍嚟嘅。適當使用嘅時候咧，可以為大眾咧帶來方便啦，同埋便利啦。 但係如果唔適當去使用咧，亦都為消費者咧帶來潛在風險同埋不公平嘅待遇。因此咧，鼓勵商家喺應用人工智能嘅時候咧，係採取有道德嘅營商手法。咁屬同一個母公司嘅另一個交友應用程式咧，亦都有收費差異現象。然而呢個商戶咧否認係以用戶年齡進行定價，又指出咧收費差異可能係源於呢個程式裏邊嘅隨機價格測試所致。消費者咧亦都可以喺交友應用程式裏邊咧選購虛擬道具，但係呢啲虛擬道具咧價格咧係差異好大嘅，可以由最低咧15蚊至到最高咧係252200蚊，咁你話差好大啊！咁消費者咧係需要自行判斷喺呢交友程式分別巨大金額嘅價值。消委會咧提醒消費者，交友涉及雙方嘅配合同埋溝通，而且係受機緣啦、時機啦、眼緣等因素影響。即使用戶咧選擇咗使用訂閱服務或者虛擬道具，亦都未必能夠保證咧得到更多或者更好嘅配對。購買前咧就要細心思量。交友應用程式近年咧就好多啦，有如雨後春筍應運而生。而喺網絡情緣騙案咧，亦時有發生。咁所以喺網上交友嘅時候咧，真係要帶眼識人。消費者咧可以參考我哋以下嘅貼士。第一咧，同對象見面咧，應該相約於公眾場所，而唔係隱蔽或者私人地方。千祈唔好飲酒過度或者濫用藥物，以免咧減低自身嘅警覺力同埋判斷力。咁確保約會之後咧，可自行安排交通離開。如果會面過程中咧感到情況有異咧，應該提前終止呢個約會嘅。第二咧係初次見面嘅時候咧，應該避免談及自身嘅經濟情況。如果對方無故提議你去美容院啊或者診所呢啲高危嘅推銷場所咧，咁小心警惕啦，切勿咧向素未謀面嘅人咧給予任何形式嘅金錢援助嘅。咁呢個咧就係關於呢個消費嘅交友 Apps。咁嘅第四個咧就係關於呢個牙齒嘅矯形啦，即係牙套矯齒嘅嘅風險啦。咁我哋有半自助同埋自助嘅隱形牙套矯齒療程。咁牙齒矯正療程咧，或者我哋叫箍牙啦，一向都俾人感覺咧係收費高昂嘅。療程過程咧既辛苦咧又唔靚嘅，打理咧亦都好花功夫嘅。咁隨住箍牙嘅技術同埋物料咧日益進步啦，新興嘅隱形牙套咧矯齒程序，即係隱形去箍牙啦，標榜咧係無妨外觀同埋方便清潔，收費咧係相對便宜，故此咧係吸引咗唔少人咧都想試下嘅。不過消費者委員會向6間隱形牙套品牌嘅公司查詢佢相關嘅隱形牙套矯齒療程資料，發現咧只有4間咧表示咧係會由本港註冊嘅牙醫進行牙科檢查同埋療程期間跟進。另外有一間公司咧就只係提供3D 牙齒嘅掃描，唔設牙科檢查，並且聲稱咧由矯正醫生咧支援療程，同埋透過咧應用程式遙距咧去監察呢個箍牙嘅進度。另一間咧就要求消費者咧係先俾錢係購買咗呢個療程，然之後先安排咧牙科檢查。而喺療程期間咧亦都冇牙醫跟進。咁消委會認為咧，箍牙係一項專業嘅醫學治療嚟㗎。如果冇註冊牙醫跟進咧，對消費者嚟講咧係缺乏保障嘅，極度缺乏保障。建議政府咧密切留意以呢類模式運作同埋冇本港註冊牙醫跟進嘅矯齒服務，對消費者嘅風險。所以亦都提醒消費者咧，唔應該因為收費較便宜或者貪方便咧，隨便咧接受冇牙科檢查或者註冊牙醫跟進嘅療程。以免咧出現咗問題嘅時候咧，除咗對牙齒造成永久損害咧，亦都難以追究責任。咁咧，我哋今次咧就有將6間隱形牙套公司嘅療程模式咧，大致分為4類嘅。咁咧係第一類啦，咁你可以睇下我哋有4類嘅。咁第一類咧就係有牙醫主理同埋跟進療程。第二類咧就係限定牙醫諮詢次數。第3類一半自助式。第4類咧係遙距式嘅監察嘅。咁至於第一類咧就好明顯就有牙醫主理同埋跟進療程啦。咁喺4間我哋查嘅公司裏邊咧就表示咧係呢4間有本港註冊牙醫跟進箍牙療程嘅牙套公司之中咧，有3間咧表示佢個角色咧只係物料提供嘅啫。所以咧係一個物料供應商。咁整個箍牙嘅療程咧，包括咗療程前嘅牙科檢查啦、 定期覆診同埋跟進咧，都係由呢個註冊嘅牙醫去主理嘅。費用咧亦都係由牙醫自己去定收幾多錢。咁一般嚟講咧，大約咧係24,000蚊咧至5萬蚊左右。咁有公司表示咧，仲可以為顧客咧預約網絡牙醫啦。亦有公司表示咧係唔能夠直接介紹牙醫，但係可以提供咧使用佢嘅隱形牙套嘅牙科診所資料，供顧客自行聯絡。咁第二類咧係屬於咧就係限定牙醫同埋限定諮詢次數嘅療程。咁模式咧就係顧客咧必須咧由呢個公司咧轉介到合作嘅牙醫，並且一般咧係提供3至4次嘅牙醫嘅諮詢同埋跟進服務。咁包括咧係療程前嘅檢查啦、試戴牙套同埋磨牙啦。咁如果有需要嘅時候，咁所需要嘅費用咧大概係16,800蚊至26,800蚊就咁上下。但係療程前嘅牙科檢查收費咧係另外再要俾咧係1,500蚊㗎，因為唔包括喺呢個26,800蚊裏邊。呢個療程期間，如果出現牙齒問題咧，可先向呢個公司嘅售後服務員咧查詢。如果需要約見牙醫咧，就要另外俾診金啦。咁而向顧客講解模擬矯齒嘅效果預覽圖同埋其後售後服務咧，都係由公司負責，即係唔係牙醫負責。咁第三類咧就係我哋叫半自助式咧，就係冇牙醫跟進嘅呢個半自助式。咁咧呢個規模運作嘅一間公司咧，只係提供咧療程前嘅牙醫檢查同埋掃描，療程期間咧唔會有牙醫跟進療程。咁牙套公司咧亦都唔會主動咧聯絡呢個客戶咧去監察佢嘅療程進度。咁當然價錢咧就係由15,000蚊到19,000蚊啦。咁但係咧喺消委會嘅職員咧透過即時通訊軟件作初步查詢嘅時候咧，信息中咧就會顯示香港牙科醫生免費跟進嘅字眼。咁而最後一個咧就係所謂遙距式啦。咁呢個咧就係冇牙醫檢查同埋跟進嘅，係差唔多你可以講全自己搞掂嘅。咁咧唔論療程所需嘅隱形牙套數目，劃一收費咧係16,000蚊。咁另外咧就加埋500蚊療程前嘅掃描費用。咁係唔設呢個牙科檢查嘅。療程期間咧主要都係透過網上咧跟進同埋聲稱咧有一隊矯形醫生支援。顧客咧係需要透過相關應用程式上載牙齒近照俾牙醫咧括號審視，而牙醫咧係有機會咧係本港註冊牙醫或者海外註冊牙醫。咁所以咧我哋會睇到咧係有好大嘅分別。咁大家要揀嘅時候咧就要識揀啦。咁由於咧第三類模式係半自動嘅療程咧，睇嚟好似有牙醫嘅支援，但係嘅角色同埋參與程度咧都欠透明，所以消委會咧就派職員咧係做神秘顧客身份，到訪呢間提供半自動式箍牙療程，收費咧係6間之中最低嘅牙套公司接受免費諮詢。呢個公司嘅職員就話咧，如果想接受療程前嘅牙科檢查或者掃描同埋掃描咧，需要先付款購買15,000蚊至19,000蚊嘅計劃。咁呢個職員咧介紹佢嘅療程嘅優點，包括咧價錢平啦，好多個案咧都無需剝牙啦，只需要磨牙縫啦，性價比高啦等等。並且強調咧佢套餐價格較低嘅原因咧係因為直接由牙套公司提供箍牙療程，而唔係經由牙醫進行。但係顧客需要要作自行佩戴牙套並監察嘅進度。咁呢個公司嘅職員咧，其後咧就睇到消委會嘅職員嘅前排牙齒咧，就話咧確定咧需要用收費較高嘅療程，並且咧表示矯齒方案咧係由海外嘅牙科實驗室同埋矯齒科醫生咧係設計，可以咧唔使剝牙，只需要磨牙縫就可以將牙齒移動到合適嘅位置。咁目前咧香港嘅註冊牙醫嘅醫學療程咧，治療咧係需要受到牙醫註冊條例同埋佢附屬嘅法例規管嘅。任何人如果唔係註冊牙醫，而喺香港以牙醫身份執業咧，都可能係觸犯咗牙醫註冊條例。但係今次調查部分療程咧，聲稱係由海外註冊牙醫或者係矯正牙醫生遙距跟進，佢哋係咪具備相關嘅資歷同埋訓練，就好難證實。再者，如果要追究責任咧，佢哋未必咧係受到本港法例監管嘅，因為係海外噶嘛，對消費者咧欠缺保障。如果療程唔涉及本地註冊牙醫，消費者只可以追究牙套公司。咁牙套公司咧雖然都會受到貨品售賣條例同埋服務提供 包括括號隱含條款（括號條例）規管，必須咧係提供與説明相符嘅商品，以及合理程度謹慎提供服務。但係如果牙套公司係位於海外嘅、外地嘅，消費者呢要追究責任咧係會非常困難。咁消委會指出咧，箍牙屬於專業服務，係一項咧必須由註冊牙醫進行並監督嘅醫學療程治療。然而咧，市面上部分嘅牙套公司或者中介咧係將箍牙療程咧包裝成為商品同埋服務，直接銷售俾消費者，將複雜嘅治療程序咧就能夠好似流水作業式嘅處理，等個顧客咧自理啦，對消費者構成極大風險。所以認為咧，政府有需要密切監察，以及以呢一類模式運作同埋冇註冊牙醫跟進嘅療程對消費者嘅風險。如果有需要咧，採取有效措施，包括咧需考慮是否規管呢一類自助或者半自助式嘅矯齒服務，以提升咧對消費者嘅保障。同時咧，亦要教育消費者，唔應該只係因為收費吸引或者方便咧，接受由唔係本港註冊牙醫進行檢查、診斷同埋跟進嘅矯齒療程，以免出現問題嘅時候咧，除咗要承擔咧難以補救嘅皮肉之苦同埋金錢損失之外咧，亦都難以追究以上嘅責任。咁我哋建議消費者咧，如果想箍牙咧，要注意以下兩個事項嘅，起碼第一個咧係即使箍牙療程咧聲稱咧係有本港註冊牙醫參與，亦要了解咧有關嘅牙醫嘅參與嘅程度係點樣樣。例如係咪只係提供前期嘅牙科檢查咧，抑或整個療程都有參與咧？包括制定矯齒方案啦，提供定期覆診同埋實體嘅跟進咧。第二點咧要關注嘅就係佩戴牙箍會阻礙清潔口腔，牙齒或者牙肉健康欠佳嘅人士，譬如有蛀牙啦、牙髓病或者牙周病咧，或者未有妥善管控嘅糖尿病等等，咁必須先處理好呢啲啦，先至進行呢個箍牙嘅療程嘅。咁呢個就係關於箍牙嘅。咁最後一個中文嘅文章，今日咧就係關於呢個增值課程啦。咁市面上嘅進修課程咧，或者補習班咧係五花八門，咁嚟到滿足學生咧或者我哋想自我增值人士嘅需求啦。咁報讀某一啲進修課程咧，仲可以獲得持續進修基金嘅資助。但係消費者委員會咧係接獲唔少涉及院校同埋提供補習服務機構嘅消費投訴，主要咧係涉及銷售手法啦、課程質素啦，以及合約條款等不同範疇。咁消費者報讀嘅時候咧，要多加留意。咁今日咧就將兩個個案咧同大家分享㗎。其中一個個案咧就關於上門補習服務咧變成打電話問功課。咁B 公司嘅職員咧上門造訪咗目不識丁嘅投訴人，自稱咧係政府派嚟嘅人員，接獲咗社工轉介嚟到做家訪，並且咧手持稱係投訴人嘅女兒嘅試卷。咁投訴人咧不如有詐啦，就去個職員咧就表示咧需要1對1上門補習服務。職員表示咧可以安排導師於指定時間咧上門補習，1年收費咧係4500蚊。咁投訴人就同意啦。咁職員咧即場發出收據，但收據上面就寫咗熱線電話問功課。咁但係投訴人唔識字㗎嘛，咁職員亦都冇同佢講出咗收據嘅內容，冇讀出收據內容。咁咧跟住咧就安排咗第二日咧就係第一節嘅上門補習啦，補習課堂。咁補習課堂啊，日日咁喺約定時間咧，咁啊冇任何導師上門喎。咁投訴人咧打電話去 B 公司問下啦，咁先話俾佢聽咧，你購買嘅服務咧只係透過電話或者係 WhatsApp 問功課嘅啫。咁投訴人咧就向消委會咧求助啦。咁 B 公司咧就話啦，銷售人員當時已經清楚向投訴人講解佢嘅服務咧係透過電話或者 WhatsApp 裏邊問功課，而唔係上門補習嘅。收據咧亦都有清楚列明。咁公司咧都會繼續咧按照收據嘅合約內容咧提供服務，唔會安排退款。咁雙方咧就各執一詞，就未能達成解決共識。咁喺徵得投訴人同意之後咧，消委會已經將呢個個案咧轉介海關跟進。海關經調查之後表示咧，未有足夠證據咧證明 B 公司觸犯商品說明條例。其後咧就將呢個調查結果咧話俾投訴人聽，因為個收據明明寫咗咧係電話或者 WhatsApp 嘅啫。咁第二個個案咧就係院校咧冇按照持續進修基金咧嘅按月等額要求咧收取學費嘅。咁呢個情形係點咧？投訴人咧喺書展之後咧就獲 C 院校嘅職員咧 就推銷一個咧係屬於持續進修基金或者我哋簡稱基金啦，可獲發還款項嘅英語課程。咁喺接受入學水平測試之後咧，就可以讀呢個課程㗎啦。咁一筆過咧就俾咗26,500蚊嘅學費。咁投訴人完成咗第一節課程之後咧，就認為內容太過簡單，又質疑個入學測試咧只係得15條嘅選擇題，咁是否係真係能準確咁樣反映佢嘅語文能力呢？咁投訴人咧因此提出咧就退學同埋申請退款，但係未獲院校同意。咁投訴人後來亦都發現咗咧，當要向基金申請發還呢個基嘅錢嘅時候咧，係要有基準試考試費用嘅時候咧，係要向基金咧提供繳款考試費嘅證明。但係私院校咧所發出嘅收據咧冇列明呢個考試繳費嘅收費各個細項嘅。咁基金咧亦都要求院校咧需要每按月等額形式咧收取學費，即係話如果課程為期係多於1個月咧，咁應該咧將學費咧就係即係需要嘅課程嘅費用咧係每個月分期俾嘅。但係私院校咧就一筆過咧收取晒所有嘅學費。咁做法咧或者有違基金規定之餘咧，院校嘅職員咧更曾經要求咧投訴人簽咗一份聲明，其中一點咧係指出課程咧原本係定1個月嘅咋，因為投訴人嘅要求咧先延長呢個課程，咁所以咧院校咧就要維持一筆過收取學費啦。咁投訴人咧懷疑院校咧係意圖以呢個聲明咧迴避基金要求，就向消委會投訴求助。經過消委會調停之後咧，私院校咧就提出扣除第1個月嘅學費，同埋收取咧5%嘅手續費之後退回餘款。咁投訴人咧唔同意，並且咧堅持院校咧會作出全額退款。咁經消委會再次調停之後咧，私院校咧願意只係扣除5%嘅手續費，另外退款咧就係大約25,000蚊。咁投訴人咧終於接受咗呢個方案啦。咁咧，所以消費者咧係報讀唔同課程嘅時候咧，要考慮下我哋以下嘅建議嘅。第一咧，消費者可以考慮咧參考院校嘅免費測試，參加院校嘅免費測試，甚至試堂。但係需要留意咧試堂嘅條款，同埋千祈唔好心急咧繳付留位費。如果院校咧設有成績保證計劃，需要特別留意咧獲取相關保證嘅條件，並且咧保留交易文件同埋合約條款細則，日後一旦發生糾紛嘅時候咧有所憑據。第二咧，如果課程機構以問卷調查方式去獲取學生資訊，消費者應該對個人資料嘅披露同埋用途加倍留意。如果遇到銷售人員上門推銷課程，並聲稱咧持有佢嘅子女在校嘅成績，消費者咧應該小心查證銷售人員嘅身份，並且確認文件嘅來源同埋真偽，切勿輕信銷售員嘅口頭承諾，簽署文件同埋付款。第三咧，消費者報讀可持續進修基金還款可以，消費者報讀可獲持續進修基金發還款項嘅課程嘅時候咧，需要先到基金嘅網站核對可獲發還款項課程嘅名單同埋要求細節。如果課程咧需修讀多於1個月咧，但院校未有安排咧按月等額收費咧，消費者應立即咧向院校提出。消費者亦都需要留意咧向基金申請發還款項嘅出席率同埋成績要求。咁呢個咧係今次選擇月刊裏邊我選咗5篇文章嘅中文版。Let me summarize the key finding of the 5 paper in English now. The first paper is about washing and drying performance of washer dryers. According to Consumer Council's test on the washing, drying, and wash and dry combo function of 10 washer drying models on the market, the cleaning performance, water extraction performance, drying precision, energy and water consumption, as well as the cycle time were found to vary substantially. The performance of the same model also vary considerably when used for different textile materials and when running different programs. The 10 models included in the Council's test were all front-loading types, which is the most common type of washer dryers available on the market in Hong Kong. Test items included the clothes washing and drying performance, energy and water saving performance, washing and drying speed, etc., conducted in 6 different sections to test the performance of the models when running different programs, operating on clothing of 2 common textile materials, that is, cotton and synthetic fibers, and different nodes. And ultimately, the lowest and highest price models both received the same overall rating of 4 points. The model will test for the cleaning performance of various stains, including blood, tea, wine, salad dressing, chocolate ice cream, lipstick, and ink, etc. The results revealed considerable variance in cleaning performance amongst models. The cleaning ratios, which reflected the cleaning performance, varied by up to approximately 27% across all models in the washing synthetic fiber clothing section, while that for the washing cotton clothing section saw a variance as high as 20%. Other than cleaning, drying clothes for a prolonged period or at excessively high temperature might cause deformation, shrinkage, or even damage to the clothing. On the contrary, if the clothing had not been fully dried after the first cycle and the user chooses to restart the drying program, the washer-dryer would need to heat up the cooled down clothing once again. As a result, waste energy and time. Therefore, the drying precision is crucial. The results show considerable variance in the drying precisions amongst models. Taking the test section drying cotton clothing, for instance, for one model, the overall dryness of the clothing immediately after drying was considerably close to that when the clothes was in the dry state, with a mere difference of 0.1%. Another model, however, had a difference of 9.4%, with many clothes not fully dried. Of course, other than cleaning and drying, energy and water consumption are important. The test results show a huge difference in energy consumption amongst models, with a maximum difference of approximately 79% in energy consumption for washing per kilogram clothing in the washing synthetic fiber clothing section, for instance. Besides the wash program, the drying performance also consumes water. If the drying cotton clothing and drying synthetic fiber clothing sections, the maximum difference in water consumption of drying each kilogram clothing was around 83% and 86% respectively. The same model had the highest water consumption in both the aforementioned sections, yet this model had the most outstanding water-saving performance in the washing cotton clothing section. Once again, reflecting that the same model could have varying performance when operating under different wash and drying programs, and when used for treating different textiles. 3 of the test models could complete the washing program within 2 hours, while one model required over 3 hours. In terms of drying, 2 models were able to complete the drying programs within 3 hours, whereas 2 models took over 5 hours. For the wash and drying program, 1 model could complete it within 4 hours, yet 1 model required over 7 hours to complete the entire program. So you can see the difference between models. Different models each had their own strengths and weaknesses in different test sections. The model with the most outstanding cleaning performance did not perform the best in the drying precision test. The model with the most power-saving wash program contradictorily received the lowest rating in the power-saving level for the dry program. Consumers should select a model that matches their personal garment care habit, such as whether they have more cotton or synthetic fiber clothing. Appropriate use and good maintenance could extend the lifespan of the machine, supporting the principle of sustainable consumption. And this is about the washer and dryer. The second paper of today is chicken accents. The Consumer Council conducted tests of food safety and nutrient concentration of 15 samples of commonly found prepackaged chicken accents products. The samples including 1 traditional chicken accents, 10 distilled chicken accents, 3 broiled chicken accents, and 1 vegan chicken accents, ranging from $188 to $990 per box, equivalent to a cost per saving of $11.75 to $133, a tenfold difference. For food safety, the samples were tested for the content of preservatives, antioxidants, hormones, and aflatoxins, while the nutrient content tests covered total fat, saturated fatty acid, cholesterol, iron, sodium, protein, and amino acids. The sample with the highest and lowest cost per serving both received an overall score of 5 points. reflecting that the price and quality and nutritional value of a product are not necessarily correlated. Consumers are reminded to compare and choose wisely. Chicken Action's product claim to contain various nutrients such as protein and amino acid, which help build muscles, repair cells and tissues, and reduce muscle fatigue. The results show that among the 14 samples in liquid formula, over 90% were high-protein food. The daily vegan samples were in solid form, was also considered to be a high-protein food. The high-pressure and high-temperature manufacturing process of traditional chicken actions, distilled chicken actions, and boiled chicken actions product replaced the digestion process by protein digestive enzymes in the human body, which could ease the burden of the digestive system of individuals with abnormal secretion of protein digestive enzymes. Nevertheless, consumers with special needs, for example, patients, individuals recovering from surgery, etc., should seek professional advice from doctors or registered dietitians to see whether they're suitable to consume this kind of chicken actions. The test also revealed that all samples were not high-sodium food, while 80% of the samples were low in sodium. One sample claimed to be salt-free, yet its sodium content did not comply with the standard of a sodium-free food. Consumers with overweight concerns might be affected by zero-fat claim in Chicken Actions product. 7 samples were not detected with fat, while 7 samples only contained 0.1 gram to 0.3 gram fat per 100 ml or 100 gram of the actions, which comply with the criteria to be claimed as no fat or zero fat or fat-free on the labeling. However, consumers should note that fat is an important nutrient, just like protein and carbohydrates. Although Chicken Actions products are rich in protein, if consumers are only aiming for protein intake, they could consider consuming whole food such as chicken, milk, or eggs, etc., as they contain an even higher protein content. Taking skinless chicken thigh, for instance, consuming 100 grams could provide 26.3 gram protein intake and could only cost about $5.83. To gain the same protein intake by consuming Chicken Actions, it would cost around $51.94 for traditional Chicken Actions, a difference of almost 8 times, and $1,710 for vegan Chicken Actions, a staggering 290-fold difference. Other foods also provide rich protein intake and cost much less. Taking, for example, an elder required daily diet of 2,000 kcal and 60 gram protein, based on a 20 gram protein intake per meal. If boiled egg were the protein source, it would only cost $9.27, while chicken thigh would only cost $4.82, much lower than that of vegan Chicken Actions, which would cost $1,301. Therefore, consumers who use Chicken Actions product for protein intake should pay attention to the price and serving size, and further decide if it's worth paying extra on such products, or whether they could simply achieve the necessary protein intake through maintaining a balanced diet instead. According to the technical guideline note on nutrition labeling and nutrition claims, we call it guidance note, the discrepancy between the declared and actual nutrient content of all prepackaged food should be within the tolerance limit set out in the regulations. 3 samples did not comply with the requirements set out in the guidance note. The actual protein content for 1 sample was 22.9% lower than its declared amount. The actual sodium content of 2 samples were 22.5% and 29.9% higher than the declared amount. The Council stressed that it is a fundamental consumer right to receive accurate product information as supplement. Nutrition labels are one of the most important sources for consumers to judge if the product fits their health condition. Not to mention, Chicken Actions product might not be suitable for everyone. The Council urged the agents or importers to add information on contraindication and instruction for consumption on the package. One point consumers need to pay attention, particularly Chicken Actions is considered as health supplements. Consumers are advised to pay attention to whether this product meets their nutritional need. Healthy people, including the elderly, pregnant women, or postpartum women, can have enough nutrients as long as they maintain a balanced diet. It should not be used to replace regular diet or regular meals. The third paper today is about dating apps, the piracy. From October to December 2022, Consumer Council staff, posing as general consumers, downloaded and trialed 9 dating apps that were relatively popular amongst Hong Kong consumers. The personal data required at registration was largely the same across all apps, including name, gender, sexual orientation, date of birth, location, email address, phone number, etc. Additional information on education level, occupation, interest, etc. could be submitted per user's preference. Of the 9 dating apps, 1 only required the user's gender and phone number to open an account, while 2 require up to 12 items of personal particulars, with 1 request users to answer a number of questions on their personal value, a relatively complicated and time-consuming process. 6 apps require users to upload photos with their face clearly visible. All 9 apps preset permission to use account owners' personal data for marketing or advertising purposes, but only 8 has specified such use in the privacy policy. Only 3 of the apps allow users to opt out of the arrangement. Nearly 90% of the apps provide 2 to 6 basic filters for free, including gender, age, distance, place of residence, language, etc. The remaining 1 apps provide up to 16 filters, including the annual salary and total assets. 6 apps offered advanced filters to their subscribers, with common options including height, education level, dating goals, family plans, lifestyle, etc. Consumers could deactivate or delete their account if needed. If an account is inactive for a prolonged period, say 180 days to 30 months, 6 apps might automatically deactivate or delete the user's profile, after which the service provider will generally keep users' information for 28 to 180 days before data deletion in accordance with the privacy policy. However, if a user's account is terminated due to violation, 3 apps will retain the account information for 1 year in case of investigation of unlawful or harmful conduct. 3 dating apps did not specify the retention period of users' personal data, amongst which only 1 provides supplementary information upon the council staff's inquiry, while the remaining 2 apps did not respond, reflecting much little improvement in transparency in the handling of user data. All dating apps in the survey did not charge for basic functions, but users could pay for a subscription to enjoy additional features. The price of basic subscription plan ranged from $78 to $235 per month and offers 4 to 6 additional features. Advanced subscription plans were more expensive, with as many as 7 to 11 features, including exploring more users, etc., with monthly fee ranging from $138 to $468. However, it was found that subscription options could vary by gender. For example, in 1 app, female users were offered only 1 subscription plan, but could still chat with male users without an active subscription. Whereas male users have 3 plans to choose from, but must pay for a subscription before being granted access to reading messages sent by female users and interacting with them. Consumer Council staff conduct a test by registering a series of accounts covering users' age from 18 to 68, with intervals of 10 years, and then check the subscription price of the apps. Results reveal 3 combinations of price difference amongst the 5 age-specific accounts. The 38-years-old account was charged the highest, followed by the 18 and 58 years old, while the accounts aged 28, 48, and 68 were charged the lowest. For a 12-month subscription, the 38-year-old account owner would pay nearly 34%, 21%, and 42% more than the lower price group across the 3 subscription options, respectively. The findings were similar to those of a UK consumer group. That is, these dating apps impose price discrimination on different users. Another Australian council group also reported that the pricing mechanisms of these apps might have taken into account not only the age of user, but also the operating system, device, location, or even personal interest, which might actually be a complex algorithm. Upon review of the terms and conditions of the apps, the Council could only find a statement claiming that its pricing varied by a number of factors, with little explanation of the differential pricing, reflecting a lack of transparency. The Council received no response from the dating apps after inquiries, which was disappointing. The Council believes that AI is a double-edged sword that boosts convenience to the public, but when used properly, but can also bring potential risks and unfair treatment to consumers when used inappropriately. As such, traders are encouraged to adopt ethical business practices when using AI. Virtual items can also be purchased on dating apps, with functions similar to those of the subscription plan, but they were only for the single use, with price ranging from $15 to around $252,200. As virtual items are usually non-refundable and do not come with refund policy in terms and conditions from some of the apps, so consumers need to pay attention on that. Bearing in mind that subscription plan of virtual items might not guarantee more or better matches, consumers should carefully consider before buying. The fourth paper today is about semi-full self-service clear alignment treatments. The recently trending orthodontic therapy by clear aligners has attracted many to give it a trial, as it boosts a discreet appearance, easy clearing, and a relatively low cost. However, the Consumer Council survey revealed that only 4 provided dental check-ups and treatment follow-ups by registered dentists in Hong Kong. One only provides 3D dental scans with no dental check-ups, claiming the treatment will be supported by an orthodontist, and that the progress will be monitored remotely through an app. Another required full payment before arranging for a dental check-up, while no dentist follow-up would be provided during treatment. The survey was conducted from September to December 2022. The Council searched the internet for 6 companies promoting clear aligner treatments and participate in free online assessments as customers, including answering simple questionnaires and uploading photos of the oral cavity as instructed by some websites. Council staff also posed as a mysterious shopper to attend a free consultation at a company which offers semi-self-service treatment without dentist follow-ups and whose services charge was the lowest. Traditional fixed braces must be put on and removed by dentists. On the other hand, clear aligners are removable, thus more convenient and comfortable to use. Without interfering with eating and oral care, clear alignment treatments work by design, the orthodontic procedure through a computer program, then producing multiple sets of clear aligners by 3D printing technology. Each set is slightly different from the previous one, used to create a slight pressure at a predetermined points of contact with the teeth, nudging them into decided position. As the technology is relatively new, this treatment is not suitable for complex orthodontic cases, such as those which require extractions, more severe overbites, underbites, open bites, deep bites, or short crowns. The treatment models could be broadly classified as 4 types. The first type was dentist-led with follow-up. Of the 4 companies that claimed to provide follow-up by dentists registered in Hong Kong, 3 stated that their role was mainly that of a material supplier, while the entire treatment was administered by registered dentists. The fee was set and charged by the dentist. The second type of the treatment provides specified dentists and number of dental consultations. Customers must visit a partner dentist referred by the company to receive generally 3 to 4 dental consultations and follow-ups, including a pre-treatment check-up, fitting, and additional interproximal reduction if necessary. If dental problem arise during the treatment, customers should contact the company's after-sales service representative first, and customer would have to pay additional fee for a dentist appointment. The third type of treatment was semi-self-service without follow-up by dentists. One company operating under this model only provides pre-treatment dental check-ups and scans, with no follow-up by dentists during treatment, and it would not proactively reach out to the customers to monitor the treatment progress either. The fourth type was fully self-service remote treatment with no dental check-up and follow-ups. Treatment will be followed up mainly online, and the company claimed to have a team of orthodontists available for support service. Customers were required to upload latest photo of the teeth, while the relevant apps for review by a dentist, coded, who might be a dentist registered either in Hong Kong or overseas. As treatments offered in the third type appear to be supported by dentists, yet the role and level of involvement were not transparent. Council staff, posing as mysterious shoppers, attend a free consultation at this company, which offers semi-self-service clear aligner treatment with the lowest charges among the 6 surveyed companies. The staff member explained that customers had to prepay for a package which cost either $15,000 or $19,000 before receiving a pre-treatment dental examination and scan. The staff member introduced the advantages of treatment and stressed that the lower price of the treatment package was due to direct provision of aligners by the company, rather than through dentists. But customers had to put on the aligner and monitor the treatment progress on their own. Should problems arise during the process, follow-up service would be provided. The staff then confirmed the mysterious shopper's lead for the most expensive option by only observing his front teeth, claiming that the orthodontic solution was designed by an overseas dental laboratory and orthodontist, and that the teeth could be moved to the right position without tooth extraction, but only interproximal reduction. The Department of Health advises that interproximal reduction must be conducted precisely, as excess removal of enamel may expose the inner dentin layer, causing pain and increased risk of tooth decay. As such, the procedure must be designed by professional dentists after thorough examination, diagnosis, calculation, and planning. According to the Hong Kong Dental Association, omission of an X-ray prior to orthodontics may result in complications, such as gum and bone resection due to incorrect teeth movement to the extent of out of the areolar bone envelope. If the treatment relies solely on photos upload, or even self-monitored by the customer or consumers, dental complications such as backbites, tooth necrosis, or periodontal problems may have deteriorated to a serious level before detection. Consumers may also face difficulties should they decide to pursue restitution and redress for problematic treatment. Any person who practices dentistry in Hong Kong without being a registered dentist may be in breach of the Dentist Registration Ordinance. However, some treatment under this survey came with no follow-up by quoted overseas registered dentists or orthodontists. Not only is it difficult to verify this alleged relevant qualification and training, but they also may not be subject to the regulation of Hong Kong in the event that the consumer hopes to seek redress, thus discounting protection to consumers. The Council points out that orthodontics is a professional service and a dental treatment that must be performed and monitored by a registered dentist. The Council opined that the government needs to closely monitor the risk posed to consumers by this type of business model, which is not followed by registered dentists, and if necessary, take effective measures to heighten consumer protection, including considering the need to regulate such full semi-self-service or orthodontic services. At the same time, there's a need to enhance consumer education on the importance of avoiding orthodontic treatments without examination, diagnosis, and follow-up by non-registered dentists, despite attractive fees and convenience, so as to avoid irreparable pain and financial loss, as well as the difficulty for seeking accountability in case of problems. And the last paper for this morning is about education courses, further education courses. A wide variety of further education courses and tutorial classes are available on the market to cater to the needs of students or individuals pursuing personal development. Some further education courses might even be eligible for the reimbursement by the Continuing Education Fund, CEF. However, the Consumer Council received a number of consumer complaints relating to educational institutions and tutorial service providers, mainly involving sales practice, quality of courses, and contract terms, etc. Consumers who pay heed when enrolling in such courses. The Council reminds consumers to compare different courses before enrolling, and to scrutinize the terms and conditions prior to signing any document. Clarify with the staff immediately if anything is unclear, and do not make decisions based on the sales representative's verbal promises. Besides, after transaction, all receipts and related correspondence should be retained for record. Vulnerable consumers should stay alert to the potential risk of deceptive sales claim and should compare and verify cost details prior to make a purchase decision. The Council also urged courses provider to ensure the accuracy and transparency of information provided to consumers, as well as to step up the training and monitoring of their sales representative as to safeguard consumer rights. And I will introduce two cases for today. One is about home tutorial services became hotline homework consultation. A staff member of Company B visited the home of the illiterate companion, claiming to be government personnel paying a home visit upon referral by social workers. The staff member also had a document in hand which she claimed to be the examination paper of the companion's daughter. Unsuspectingly, the companion told the staff member that one-to-one or one-on-one home tutoring services for her daughter was needed, as alleged by the companion. The staff member offered to arrange a home tutor at a specified time for an annual tuition fee of $4,500, which was accepted by the companion. The staff member issued a receipt on the spot, yet hotline homework consultation was written on it. While the companion was illiterate, the staff member also did not read out the receipt's content, but instead immediately arranged for the first tutorial section for the following day. On the next day, when no tutor showed up at the prearranged time, the companion called Company B to inquire. Company B informed her that the service she purchased was for homework consultation via phone call or WhatsApp. The companion thus sought assistance from the Council. Company B expressed that the salesperson had clearly explained to the companion at the time that the service was for homework, consultation through a phone hotline or WhatsApp text messaging, but not home tutorial, and that the receipt had also clearly stated as such. Therefore, the company would continue to provide the service as laid out in the contract terms on the receipt, and a refund would not be arranged. As the companion expressed that she had fully relied on the verbal service statement of the staff member, opining that the staff member had made a false statement during the sales process. The Council referred the case to the Customs and Excise Department. After investigation, C&ED cited that there was insufficient evidence that Company B had violated the trade description ordinance. The second case report today is about tuition fee not collected on an equal monthly installment basis. The companion was peddled by a staff member of Institutional C to join an English course reimbursable by CEF. After attending the admission proficiency test, the companion enrolled for a course and paid the full tuition fee of $26,500. After completing the first section, the companion found that the course too basic, and also doubted whether the admission test, which only comprises 50 multiple choice questions, could indeed reflect one's language ability accurately. The companion thus requested withdrawal and a refund, but Institution C did not agree. The companion further discovered that in order to apply for reimbursement of the language benchmark test fee from CEF, supporting document for the test fee payment must be provided to CEF. Yet the receipt issued by the Institution C did not list out the payment specifies. Besides, the CEF requires all course providers to collect the tuition fee on an equal monthly installments basis, meaning that for courses longer than a month, the tuition fee should be broken down into installments equivalent to the number of months required for completing the course. However, Institution C had requested payment in full, which might be in violation of the CEF's requirements. The staff of the institution had even requested the companion to sign a statement, which included a clause stating that the course was original for 1 month, but was extended upon the companion's request. Hence, the institution could keep the arrangement of collecting the full fee, tuition fee in one go. Suspicions of the institutional intent to bypass the CEF requirement through the statement, the companion sought help from the Council. After the Council conciliation, Institution C offered to refund the balance after deducting the first monthly installment of the tuition fee and a 5% handling charge. The complainant did not agree to this proposal and demand a full refund from institution C. After the council reviewed consultation, institution C eventually agreed to refund $25,000 after deducting a 5% handling charge. The complainant accepts this arrangement. And so these are all for today's on the Choice Magazine, the 5 paper we selected for you. Now is the Q&A section. Thank you.
唔該晒 Professor Tam。由於今日收到有關交友應用程式嘅問題咧比較多，咁我哋先係答咗呢一個topic 先。The first question comes from the Standard. Are these dating apps charging users, as these dating apps are charging users differently according to their gender and age, will this be treated as discrimination?
It depends, because if they clearly explained that the charge will be according to the age and gender and whatever criteria, that might not be have descriptions. But if they do not state clearly and just give it very, very loosely or weighted description on that, that might be. So it really depends on the apps and how they described it, how do they charge the gender difference and age difference, because it's common for the other sales as well. But the basic one is they must explain it very clearly and how and why they do that. And the customer will know about it before they subscribe it. I don't know whether you have anything to add?
Sure. For price discrimination, in fact, right now, if you are talking about age, it is not specifically violating any regulation by far. But one thing that all these apps, designer or programmer have to be really careful is about in case they have any discrimination, price discrimination against any sex, disability, family, or races, that should be really, really careful. Reasons being is there are specific ordinances governing all these 4 areas of discrimination. But people may ask, if you're getting on a bus, it may have different price for the elderly or maybe for kids, for children. Is it belongs to price discrimination? It could be. Reasons being is it priced according to the age. But it is clearly spelled out, and the scope of it and exactly what price it is very clear to the public. But right now, what we are criticizing is for the price discrimination on this kind of dating apps, the terms and also the disclosure is very blurred and also very general. The whole mechanism is not very transparent to consumers, because for certain consumers, if they think this kind of price discrimination I don't accept, probably I can choose another app to use instead of using yours. But right now, if you're talking about a very intransparent way of disclosure, or maybe it's not very clear, that may be unknown to the consumers, and then you charge them differently, that may create a certain kind of discrimination. So we would encourage and also urge all these dating apps, in case you have this practice, you should clearly spell out to the consumers and let them make their choice on their own. Because there are different choices in the market. What we found this time as a specific test, 1 or 2 companies may have that, and one company said it is probably because of their own programming, testing, instead of a specific design on pricing. They don't have any price discrimination. So we believe this is not ideal, and that would be an improvement area for the specific trader.
Also, another question from the Standard. The Council has received some 50 complaints from 2020 to 2022 against dating apps. Any of these cases are related to alleged scam? Did the Council refer these cases to police?
For these 50 cases, we haven't refer cases to police, but the details of it is really surrounding on different areas. First of all is the pricing by itself. The pricing, there are hidden charges or maybe automatic renewal of the contract, which the consumer didn't agree to the automatic renewal. And also, most importantly, when you are engaging this kind of dating app service, what you are expecting, you can have a higher chances to get to know another person with a higher chance. But after you engage into the service for 3 months, 6 months, you have no one to engage with, or you couldn't find anyone suitable to meet up with, that probably could be perceived by the consumer that it could possibly be a scam because you cannot offer the service that you have promised. So this is mainly constitute the reasons of the complaints. But what we classified, because from the consumer point of view, it is more like a poor in customer service and also poor service delivery. So most of it, we classify as about, the quality of service. But based on that, I think, the word of mouth of this kind of dating app is very important. Apart from the privacy concern that we are talking about, consumer has to be really careful and also to probably, has to ask around about, people that have used this kind of app before and what is the word of mouth of this repetition of these dating apps before you really decide to engage into any.
Still about dating apps, question is from RTHK English News. How worrying is it that dating apps can use users' information for advertising? What will happen if the information gets into the wrong hands?
That's something I think everybody is really worried about it because they ask for quite a number of detailed personal information. And then you have agreed to let them use that for the advertising and all that kind of purposes. So it's difficult to really protect yourself. Therefore, we have to really select the right apps and then make sure that what kind of personal information they can be freely used and what they mean by marketing or advertising purposes. And so these are all details in the terms and conditions. Then the consumer should pay attention onto that. At the moment, as we mentioned, with these apps and also AI, a lot of information are flowing around. And so it's very, very important that we need to have some way to protect ourselves for our personal data. So this is actually the worry we have for all these apps and the AI materials.
To ask this question further, is it risky that people's information and profile pictures are publicly accessible?
It is always the dilemma of trying to expose or increase your exposure to a group of people, a community, through the dating app versus protecting your privacy. Because right now at this time, what we found if you register for it, there are about the same kind of information that they ask you about is to help people, to shortlist or maybe filter the other party that you are interested in meeting up with. But on the other hand, that means you're exposing yourself, no matter what, you're increasing your exposure of your personal data. So that's why it is so important for consumers, if you're really considering to engage with this kind of service, you have to ask around about a word of mouth. You have to look into the terms and conditions of the privacy very carefully, including the AI and also how they're going to use your information for marketing and promotional purpose. Because for this kind of app, you want them to promote you. So there's a reasonable usage of your personal data. But if they're excessively using it or maybe misusing it, you have to track the usage really carefully before you can identify yourself being used wrongly or maybe poorly. So it is always a dilemma, really to make it short. And consumers have to be really careful and also be very rational in engaging this kind of dating apps.
I think she is right. It's a dilemma. Because when you want to use these apps, you really want to get the right person for dating. And of course, you want to get the right person, you need to give them more information. And therefore, people do not mind to pay more to have a more filter. So you can see if you ask for more filter, and then you will pay more. But that you have a more perfect match. And so on the same time, when you give them more filter and apply for that, then you give out more of your personal information, including your salary, your assets, how much you have, and sometimes even a lot of personal data. And a lot of people like that because that they can give you a good match of the people that you would like to have the dating. And so I think consumers need to strike the balance between protecting yourself for the personal data and also the filter that you can get the right person for the dating. So this is, I think, the consumers' educations that you have to really pay attention on to that.
Yeah. And just one supplement is when you successfully get someone to date with, because of the recent, all the different scams happened in the market, so when you even have your first date, you have to be mindful about what are the key points that you have to be aware of. We offer a few key points. First of all is if you are someone, be mindful about, if you are having online dating, that they claim they are professional or maybe with higher education, but in the message it is filled with grammatical errors, that may, you have to be really mindful. And secondly, if the wordings and the place of your first date is very weird, for example, if they are asking you to go to a beauty parlor or maybe a health club, or maybe overpraising you, and also asking you about money, your financial situation, all these have to be really careful because that could possibly be a scam as well. And so when you have your first date, we highly recommend that you meet in a public place like a cafe or maybe a public restaurant. And also never mention about your profession or maybe your financial situation. And also don't drink too much to avoid affecting your alertness and also your judgment. And also it's better to leave, if you finish the dating, it's better to leave, by yourself and through public transport. And in case, you spot anything weird during the date, don't be hesitate, to stop the date and just politely, leave the engagement. So these are the probably very practical tips that we offer to people. We hope, everyone could find the right other half. But on the other hand, because of all the different scams and also crimes happening online for dating, so no matter how much urge you have, you still have to be very mindful about all these.
Regarding the exposure of personal data, RTHK English News would like to know, would there be any specific tips how dating app users can protect themselves from having these personal data shared with advertisers or being exposed to bad people on the internet?
I think when you give your personal data, some information you shouldn't give. You should be very careful and then to avoid giving this data to the agents. Such as we mentioned before, financial situation. And sometimes even your personal, professional, what kind of job you have, and sometimes even which area you live, because that will expose your financial situation. So I think it's very important that consumers will decide what should be given. And then what should not. For example, like gender is okay because you are looking for another half. So gender and sometimes even height or age, those kind of things are really not really that much. But once it related to financial situation and even sometimes like your ID number or your nationality, all that, I think need to be very careful. And because once you subscribe for these apps, you agree to let them use your data, and then for marketing and advertising or something else, that is out of your control already. So I think it's better that you protect yourself when you give out the information, be careful. And especially the first couple times, then you don't know the people, then you have to be even more careful. Then of course, later on, if you find it's a suitable match, then you can give more money out and have more filters, then you can release more information. Yes.
So just to supplement, it's about when you cancel the account or maybe put your account dormant, what is the privacy policy that they're imposing? Because according to our findings this time, most of them, will disclose if it is a dormant account, how long they will keep the account data, and also for how long, they would delete it. But there are certain apps, when you are keeping idle, whether it will be cancelled or deleted, it doesn't spell out a specific policy. So right now, what we can spot is most of the policies talk about if it exceed 2 years, the account, will be deleted. But 3 of these dating apps haven't spelled out clearly whether they will delete it or not. So they may keep it for a longer time. And also, if you are stopping or also already delete your account, how long your personal data will be kept by different dating apps. Some of them, haven't spelled out clearly for how long they will keep your personal data. But for some, they will set it will be deleted in 28 days, or maybe deleted in 3 months or 180 days, etc. So read the privacy policy carefully, because by the time you need to register for it, you have to be mindful about how much personal data you have to provide before you can open the account and also engage into the service. And secondly, when you want to stop using it, what are the protections that you have? And also for how long they will keep it within the dating app. So these are the important informations that you should check it out very clearly before you decide which one you want to engage into, especially at the beginning, to what extent that you want to provide your personal data. You don't know the app and you don't know the people there. If you are providing too much of your personal data, that would be creating much higher risk for you. Of course, from a dating app point of view, they said, I want more data from you that's easy for matching. But is it really the case? It depends. So everyone has to make a very rational choice, for that.
繼續都係交友 App 嘅，咁Now TV 就問咧，交友 App 冇定明收費詳情，有冇違反相關或者任何嘅條例咧？而根據年齡等因素制定唔同收費係咪公平嘅咧？
咁唔同嘅收費就係我哋話價格分歧啦。咁你會睇到啲交友 Apps 咧，佢會係你性別同埋年紀咧，可能都會有分別嘅。咁但係咧，其實如果佢喺嗰個説明裏邊咧講得好清楚咧，其實女士可能咧就唔使開個 Apps 或者唔使俾好多錢咧，都係讀到男士嘅嘢。而男士咧一定要有個 plan， 然之後 register 先可以讀到女士或者見到佢嘅 message。咁如果寫得好清楚啦，咁其實呢個咧就唔一定係違反咗呢個説明或者條例㗎，因為佢講得好清楚。咁但係咧，依家好多 Apps 裏邊咧就唔一定咁清楚，就好含糊嘅，就係話咧佢個收費咧係關於一男子嘅條例、一男子嘅規矩或者一男子嘅價格。咁所以咧就變咗對個消費者嚟講咧就唔係好清楚究竟唔同嘅收費嘅原因喺邊一度啦。咁如果咧年紀嘅價格差異咧，其實好多其他嘅時間都會發生嘅，譬如我哋睇戲啦，咁長者有半價噶嘛，小童又平啲啦，或者我哋搭車咧都可能有分別噶嘛。咁呢啲其實如果你講嘅話，都係屬於價格分歧嘅例子。但係因為呢啲商家咧都好清楚講到俾我哋聽咧，其實點解會有分歧？咁譬如話長者佢可能就係覺得要尊敬長者，所以要平啲。咁所以如果佢講得好清楚咧，個收費準則、個適用嘅年歲同埋範圍、個優惠幅度，咁就應該唔會違反啲規例。但係今次我哋嘅調查咧，就真係發覺咧係好多商家咧或者嗰啲 Apps 咧對嗰啲用戶嘅收費差別好大。但係條款裏邊咧就係好簡單嘅描述。咁而且淨係話咧收費受好多限制嘅影響，好多因素嘅考慮啊。咁所以咧就機制唔係好清晰。咁所以我哋先覺得咧，如果大家唔係好知道嘅機制嘅清晰，咁就覺得好奇怪嘅話咧，咁呢個係嗰個商家咧，或者係開呢個交友程式嗰啲人咧，就要講清楚呢樣啦。如果唔係咧，就有呢個危險。
所以商品説明條例就係話，當你釐定嗰個價格嗰陣時，你可以唔需要一定要明碼實價，但係當你明碼實價嗰陣時，就一定要講清楚。咁喺呢一度咧，我哋會睇到咧，就係佢首先第一樣嘢咧，就係嗰個機制唔夠透明。咁唔夠透明係咪用呢一個年齡去劃分而有機會觸犯法例咧？又未必係一個有機會去觸犯嘅法例。但係而家嗰個處理方法咧，我哋覺得係唔好，同埋對個消費者唔公平。唔同年歲嘅人都有呢一個交友嗰個嘅需求。咁點解某一個年歲佢嗰個嘅價格係要特別收得貴啲咧？咁如果唔解釋清楚嘅話，或者係一早要話俾一個消費者聽嘅話咧，咁其實係造成一個不公。咁呢一個咧就係喺國際嘅組 組織啦，同埋我哋今次消委會睇到嘅問題咧，都係存在嘅。咁都希望咧呢一啲嘅交友程式咧就需要去改善啦。因為喺一個網上嘅世界嚟講，有好多唔同嘅服務咧，都可能係透過呢個人工智能咧，就去釐定一個我哋叫價格分歧嘅。咁呢一個已經係不爭嘅情況。咁但係如果你真係用一個咁嘅方法去做一個叫度身訂造嘅服務，或者度身訂造嘅一個價格都好啦嚇。咁但係嗰個消費者其實真係應該要知道，等佢哋有得選擇，究竟我用你個網啊，定唔用你個網？我揀呢一個應用程式啊，定係另外一個應用程式？咁呢一個係應該係消費者一個好基本嘅權利咯。
Now TV 亦都繼續問咧，消委會會唔會建議消費者咧使用一啲個人資料較少嘅 app 咧？
因為正如我哋就講啦，其實你俾多啲資料咧，就係希望你可以揾到一個更合適嘅對象啊嘛。咁如果你冇乜資料俾出去咧，咁佢就好難幫你揾一個你心儀或者合適你嘅對象啦。咁所以咧就係話，究竟要俾幾多資料出去，同你點樣去篩選一個最合理嘅對象，其實呢個就等於係天平上面嘅兩邊嚟㗎。咁所以咧就最緊要就係有一個平衡，就係話你覺得你俾出嘅資料咧係足夠地讓呢個 Apps 咧就可以幫你配對到一個最合適嘅你個對方啦。咁但係咧亦都知道，如果俾得多嘅時候咧就危險啦。尤其是譬如話有啲嘢一定唔可以咁容易俾嘅，就係譬如話你嘅年薪啦、你嘅財政狀況啦、你有幾多銀行戶口啦，咁呢啲都係屬於高危嘅，因為咧你一俾咗出去咧，尤其是好多條文裏邊都講咧，佢可以用你啲資料咧嚟做宣傳或者推廣嘅作用。咁嘅時候咧你就好危險啦。但係有啲人就會話，咁我唔俾人工，咁可能配對一個同我唔係心儀嘅對象，咁所以呢個咧就係消費者要自己考慮。咁所以咧變咗點解好多啲應用程式咧都有啲選擇俾你㗎？你可以 basic plan， 即係最基本嘅；你可以進階嘅，甚至有啲咧就係再高級階啲，就係你幾多個我哋所謂你嘅配對嘅考慮因子。咁呢個咧就係一個平衡點嚟㗎。咁所以消費者咧就要睇清楚個條文。同埋咧，你覺得要俾咗啲咩出去，你可以揾到你嘅對象，咁就保護呢個私隱。因為喺網上咧，你俾咗嘅話，然後簽咗同意書，如果講到明可以用你啲資料咧，係我嚟做推廣宣傳，甚至俾第三方咧，你就冇乜保障自己㗎啦。咁所以呢個咧就係好似一把劍嘅兩邊，你真係要平衡下你需要啲咩嘢咯。
情報嘅問題嘅，咁喺消委會嘅實測入邊咧，發現咗有6個年齡帳戶入邊咧有3種嘅價格差異嘅，唔知可唔可以即係講下佢哋實際收費係幾多咧？咁同埋另外喺唔同性別嘅帳戶嘅收費有冇一啲明顯嘅差別？
嗱，咁我哋今次做呢一個價格嗰個嘅按年齡而進行呢個差別收費嗰個價格調查裏面咧，我哋睇到一個情況嘅，就係收費最高嘅咧就係38歲嘅帳戶。咁以12個月嘅收費方式咁去計算咧，佢個基本、中階同埋進階嘅訂閱計劃嘅收費咧就係628蚊、939蚊同埋1318蚊。比起收費最低嘅帳戶咧，就係分別咧高出34%、21%同埋42%。咁但係根據我哋今次嘅測試咧，咁我哋都會睇埋咧，究竟同個性別有冇關係咧？即係男女係咪有別咧？但係男女咧係冇分別嘅，反而咧就係喺一個年齡嗰方面咧，就係有出現咗呢一個價格嘅分歧啦。咁即係話咧，可能咧就係喺佢哋嗰個嘅人工智能，又或者係佢喺佢哋嗰個嘅程式裏面咧，或者經驗裏面咧，就係發現咧就係可能呢一個年齡群嘅人咧，可能佢哋嗰個訴求係會比較高，又或者係最容易係會做到呢一個配對啦嚇。咁所以咧個收費係會比較高啲，但係喺我哋睇翻佢嗰個嘅嗰個我哋叫 disclaimer 啦嚇，即係講翻自己嗰個價格嗰個嘅標示嗰陣時咧，就真係會講得係比較含糊嘅。嗰個機制係點樣去做法啦？係基於咩嘅原因啦？佢就係純粹係一個好簡單嘅一個方法，就係話俾大家聽，係我哋嗰個嘅條款同埋細則裏面咧，係簡單咁樣描述咧，就係受唔同嘅因素所釐定。咁其中咧就可能係某一啲嘅原因咁樣樣。咁所以咧，我哋會覺得咧係唔夠理想，因為我哋覺得咧喺個知情權同埋嗰個披露嗰方面咧，就真係唔係好夠清晰啦。
不過我補充少少啦，我哋全部調查嘅交友程式咧都冇就基本嘅功能收費嘅，但係咧用戶如果用額外功能咧，就有個所謂訂閱收費計劃啦。咁但係當呢個訂閱收費計劃咧，原來咧係男女有別㗎，即係嗰個計劃嘅內容嗰個項目。咁其中一個交友嘅程式咧就話咧，女性用戶咧雖然只有一個訂閱計劃可供選擇， 但係咧就無需訂閱咧都可以閱讀男性用戶嘅交談。相反咧，男性用戶咧雖然有3個訂閱計劃可以選擇，但佢一定要俾咗錢訂閱咗之後咧，先可以閱讀到女性用戶發出嘅信息同埋佢嘅之間嘅互動。咁所以即係話咧，去呢啲 Apps 裏邊咧可以選擇嘅嘢係好多唔同嘅 plan 啊，我哋所謂唔同嘅計劃。咁而某啲地方咧，其實可能都有少少男女有啲分別嘅喺具體上邊。所以即係話，每一個人訂閱嘅時候咧，真係除咗睇錢之外咧，真係要睇翻同埋功能之外，仲係睇翻佢個詳情嗰啲細節、嗰啲細則。如果唔係咧，你就好容易咧就係誤解咗一啲嘢。
好，繼續都係情報嘅問題嘅。有一個虛擬道具嘅收費咧，就去到成25萬蚊嘅。咁就想問下佢啲相關嘅道具嘅功能同其他 App 嘅道具咧，有冇啲唔同嘅咧？嗰啲道具係可唔可以用一次啊，定係無限使用嘅咧？
嗱，譬如你好貴嗰個啦，252000蚊啦，咁我哋就話嗰個道具佢會話個功能咧，包括咗探索更多用戶啦，或者更多人俾 like 你啦，或者其他用戶嘅有更多嘅互動啦，又可以查看好多其他用戶嘅資料啦。咁你可以睇埋其他用戶嘅好多資料，咁咧配對嘅時間咧可以縮短啦。咁所以呢啲咧都係吸引你去覺得我咪更加容易揾到我個合適嘅對象咯。咁所以咧佢就消費高度咁犀利㗎。咁呢個當然咧就佢會好多介紹點解你又需要嚇俾咁多錢因為咁你可以多啲資料啦，又多啲人 like 你啦，有好多資訊啦。咁但係咧大家要小心啲咧，就係話你要覺得係咪物有所值？咁如果要收費到咁高嘅時候咧，你就要睇下佢有冇濫收費啦，或者係咪佢俾嘅嘢咧唔係你嘅需要啦。咁如果你真係覺得你係有需要呢樣嘢嘅，咁你咪覺得都物有所值啦。咁呢個咧就係話，所以咧我哋要睇下佢俾啲咩功能你。然之後，你覺得呢個功能咧係咪對你揾一個心儀嘅對象咧係非常之關鍵？咁唔可以作咧衝動嘅，要好理性，唔可以話好耐，佢喺度話俾好耐揾唔到同你合適嘅人，咁就令你咧覺得死我揾唔到，咁所以就好衝動地咧就去覺得我要買多啲嘢啦，或者咁我配對好啲啦，咁嘅時候咧就可能非係物有所值。咁所以我就覺得消費者咧係要理性，唔好一時衝動。平衡過晒你所需要嘅嘢，俾呢啲錢咧係咪物有所值嘅？咁因為咧好多 Apps 都會覺得你梗係覺得越多功能啊，越着數啦，越好啦。咁但係呢個咧就自己要決定啦。
個嚟自 AM730嘅問題嘅，咁喺啲交友程式入邊咧，消委會有冇了解過咧？用戶可唔可以主動要求刪除資料嘅情況啊？咁樣又或者有冇呢啲程序㗎？
你講先嚇，你講先冇錯。
其實係可以嘅，但係就唔係話個個係可以容許咁樣做。咁所以咧就個消費者，當你去提供嗰一啲嘅個人私隱嘅資料嗰陣時咧，就真係要非常之小心地咧，就係決定究竟你係去提供邊一啲資料，因為咧嗰啲選項咧有啲係可以俾你填，有啲係可以唔填嘅。咁所以咧就當你去做一個提供嗰啲個人資料嗰陣時咧，就真係要諗清楚究竟邊一啲我想提供，邊一啲係唔提供啦。咁當然就係有好多應用程式就會話啦，當你提供咗嗰啲個人資料之後，你可唔可以拒絕唔俾嗰啲個人資料用做呢個推廣或者係促銷？呢一個係一個好重要嘅一點，因為一方面你就想增加你嗰個曝光率，但係另外一方面咧，你又想保障自己嘅個人私隱。咁但係咧喺我哋今次嘅研究裏面咧，差唔多係個除咗一個之外咧，全部咧就係話唔可以拒絕就將個人資料被用作推廣或者係促銷。不過就係有某一啲咧，就係話可以喺事後之後就可以係喺個應用程式裏面去作為一個修改。咁所以咧就大家當你去當你用嗰陣時，當然你希望係有個期望喺度。但係到你用到咁上下，可能就覺得已經有少少反悔，又或者係自己覺得都唔係咁感覺良好嘅話，又或者係自己都想暫停用嘅話咧，咁其實咧喺呢一方面咧，就大家應該要睇清楚嗰個條款咧，就可唔可以咧係有啲程式裏面咧係可以選項咧，就俾大家咧喺嗰個應用程式嗰度更改呢一個咁嘅訴求，即係呢一個咁嘅要求就會用唔用作去做推廣同埋個促銷，同埋咧記住都係要睇清楚啦。當你停用又或者係諗住去刪除呢個賬戶嗰陣時咧，就大家嗰個自己本身嗰個條款同埋嗰個細節係點樣樣咧，就大家真係要睇清楚啲嘅。
繼續都係 AM730嘅。咁呢條問題其實頭先係英文傳媒嗰陣時咧就答過，不過都麻煩用中文再講一次啦。咁就係想問咧消委會喺最近所接獲有關交友 App 嘅投訴數字咧，一般係涉及啲咩情況嘅咧？
喺過去呢3年裏面咧，我哋都收到大約係50個呢一個有關於配對服務嘅消費者嘅投訴啦。咁其實咧係喺過去嗰段時間咧，就最緊要嘅咧就係呢個服務質素嗰個問題嚇，因為咧其實當消費者去訂呢一啲嘅配對服務嗰陣時咧，當然好希望咧就俾咗錢之後咧就好快可以見到合適嘅人選，就大家去做一個配對或者識一啲新嘅人啦。咁但係咧喺當你俾咗錢之後，竟然遲遲都係譬如話俾咗3個月錢，都係冇人可以配對到。又或者咧個客戶服務員咧，當你去追問佢嗰陣時個進展係點啊，情況係點嗰陣時咧，咁嗰個客戶服務咧嗰個態度亦都係非常之差，亦都係投訴無門。咁甚至咧有啲咧就係俾你去配對嗰啲人咧，根本就唔係你自己起初講訂立嘅一啲嘅條件嘅一啲心儀嘅對象。咁又或乎咧就係有啲情況咧就係自動續約啦等等啦，呢一啲都係會導致呢個消費者咧係對呢一啲配對服務咧係產生咗呢一個不滿啦，而從而咧就嚟到消委會嗰度去投訴嘅。咁亦都有一啲嘅情況咧，就係當佢想終止個合約嗰陣時咧，就終止唔到啦嚇，又或者係退款要求退款或者係局部退款啦嚇，都係唔成功嘅話咧，都係會引致好多唔同嘅爭議嘅。咁所以咧就都係嗰句啦，即係消費者自己去諗呢啲配對服務嗰陣時咧，就登記嗰陣時係免費嘅，但係之後如果你係諗住去訂閱嘅話，都要諗清楚究竟你訂閱啲咩計劃啦，同埋嗰個銀碼，因為我睇到嘅銀碼咧都唔細㗎，通常嚟得我哋度投訴嗰啲咧，可能都會萬幾蚊啊，甚至咧係一啲比較高級啲嘅服務咧，就去到2萬幾3萬蚊，咁所以消費者都要留意翻呢一方面嗰個嘅金額咧，都唔係一個細嘅一個服務嘅訂閱咯。
最後一條關於交友 App 嘅問題嘅係嚟自明報嘅。記者就問到咧，就係如果交咗錢之後，發現咧呢個 App 入邊咧有好多係假帳號啊、假相啊、假嘅相片啦，會唔會有違反商品説明條例咧？消費者可唔可以因為呢個原因而退款嘅咧？
嗱，其實咧就消費者如果係真係發現到呢啲咁嘅情況咧，第一你應該可能係去翻呢一個交友嗰個嘅配對嘅呢一個應用程式嗰度去做相關嘅投訴，因為咧其實喺呢一啲嘅交友應用程式裏面咧，自己都有講到一啲條款咧，就係話若果你係用啲假相啊，或者係一啲假嘅資料咧，可能咧嗰個對方嗰個賬戶如果係被證實嘅話咧，都係會被停止或者係我哋叫做叫做咩？叫做刪除咗佢啦嚇，喺呢啲情況。咁所以咧，第一方面咧就應該要同嗰個交友應用程式嗰度去確認先啦。咁第二咧，如果真係發現係因為咁而係俾人呃咗嘅話咧，消費者絕對係有權利咧，就係去呢一個海關去舉報啦，就係去睇翻咧究竟佢哋係咪有一個違反商品説明條例嗰個嘅成分。不過咧，就因為每一個情況或者係每一個個案嗰個嘅內容咧都係唔同，咁所以咧我哋好難去一概而論。不過如果係做一個交友應用程式，佢都想係真係正常去做生意嘅話咧，都係應該要好緊密同埋好密切地去監察住咧，究竟註冊時嗰陣時所提供嘅資料咧係咪如實？因為如果好多人都係俾假嘅資訊嘅話咧，咁其實咧喺成個交友嗰個應用程式或者成件事嘅意義裏面咧，都已經係失去咗，同埋咧亦都係犯上好多暴露咗個人資料嗰方面嗰個風險嘅。咁所以大家咧就真係要用呢啲服務嗰陣時就要小心啲啦。
其實最簡單就係當你揀呢交友應用程式嘅時候咧，你真係要睇清楚個詳情，同埋都要口碑嘅，即係仲要貨比三家嘅。嚴格嚟講，即係有啲交友應用程式咧係好啲嘅，嗰個聲譽會高啲，咁佢嗰個會違規嘅人咧都會少啲啦。咁而且佢呢啲好嘅交友應用程式，佢會將你啲如果有違規行徑咧，會封咗嗰啲賬戶。咁所以嗰個交友應用程式嗰個公司咧係非常之關鍵。咁所以我哋就要睇翻每間公司，同埋你睇下你啲朋友圈裏邊邊個覺得好啲啦，你先至去用嗰個會保障自己多啲。
好，咁我哋跟住落嚟咧，下一 set 嘅問題咧就係關於隱形牙箍嘅問題嘅。咁係我哋等一等。 好，咁我哋嗱稍後咧就等兩位主講者係整理咗資料之後咧，咁我哋嚟緊落嚟咧就有幾條關於隱形牙箍嘅問題嘅。好，第一條問題咧就係商業電台嘅，咁想兩位可唔可以介紹一下咧？如果箍牙嘅療程唔妥當嘅話咧，可以為牙齒帶嚟一啲咩危害咧？
哦，咁如果你嗰個箍牙療程唔妥當，第一梗係箍唔靚啲牙啦。咁跟住咧，你仲會令到咧就你可以有口腔嘅病咯。咁同埋譬如話你可能啲牙齒歪晒啊，牙骨會受損啊，牙顎嗰個顎會受損，令到啲牙可能合唔到啊。咁所以咧就另外你可能引發更多嘅牙周病。譬如話如果你做呢個牙縫嘅時候磨嗰啲牙縫，如果磨得太犀利咧，你琺瑯質冇晒，而入到去你所謂我哋叫做dentin嘅 layer，即係嗰啲牙肉嘅部分嘅時候咧，咁就會更加損害啲牙齒咯。咁所以變咗你做呢個情形嘅時候咧，就一定要好清楚啦。譬如話好簡單，你要檢查下你使唔使剝牙先，因為只係做呢個磨牙縫就得咧。咁如果你剝牙咧，咁就要牙醫去做啦。咁如果磨牙縫咧，其實都係一個好重要嘅一個醫療程序。咁亦都唔係咧隨便磨，因為你如果唔好嘅話咧，可能磨得太多啊。咁就好似我話齋咧，琺瑯質就唔得啊。咁另外咧，因為你係要定期理論上箍牙嘅時候，嗰牙箍要唔同嘅，要因應你個牙嘅位置唔同。咁所以你唔係有個牙醫跟進，係靠你嗰個網上嘅話咧，有可能咧俾你即係每一次佩戴牙箍咧就唔係最好。咁所以變咗你矯正之外咧，不得之外咧，仲可能咧係導致你嘅牙嘅受損，口腔受損啦。咁會可能導致咧會有牙槽骨，即係我哋所謂嗰個牙顎嗰度移位啦。咁啊牙齒有移位啦。咁啊有牙齦啦，有牙骨嘅萎縮啦，咁好多併發症會出現㗎。咁你知如果一係出現咗呢啲牙齒嘅問題啊，譬如咬合問題啊、牙齒壞死啊、牙周病啊，咁嗰啲牙科治療咧係好難㗎。咁啊好慘嘅，因為牙痛就係慘過大病。咁所以咧唔單止係貴啦，你就真係得不償失嘅。
咁跟住 AM730嘅問題嘅，咁我如果係喺香港啦，透過海外嘅牙醫提供牙醫服務，或者係喺冇牙醫嘅情況底下提供牙套，喺香港嚟講咧，咁係咪合法嘅咧？有冇啲咩法律嘅風險啊？
咁就視乎你嗰個賣俾你嗰個公司點樣包裝呢樣嘢啦。咁依家啲人就將呢個包裝成為一個商品咁樣，咁所以咧就佢根本就冇話俾你聽，我哋有用牙醫嘅。我哋就係用電腦掃描，你影緊相之後，我哋全部用電腦去做呢樣嘢。咁嘅時候，因為香港咧就牙醫咧係有一定嘅規管，有一定嘅即係牙醫要註冊，有牙醫註冊條例。咁但係依家咧，如果將佢包裝成一個貨品啦，所以佢能夠嘅咧就係話係受貨品收售條例同埋服務提供嘅條例。咁如果佢呢個咧係話俾你聽，我係用你影張相俾我啦，我睇下你啲牙，跟住靠個電腦咧幫你打印一個3D 嘅牙箍啦。咁未必係有違反呢個條例嘅。咁如果佢就話我係只係得一啲叫做海外嘅牙醫，咁就唔使香港嘅牙醫去註冊啦。咁所以亦都未必違反香港牙醫註冊嘅條例啦。咁甚至有啲佢唔叫牙醫㗎，佢叫做矯齒醫生。咁有矯齒醫生嘅時候咧，佢就根本唔係同呢個牙科係有任何嘅關係嘅。但係顧客以為係，但係實際上就唔係。咁所以咧就變咗係未必係受政府規管或者牙醫學會嘅規管，咁呢個就係一個危險喺呢度啦。
其實最大嘅問題就係真係萬一出任何事嗰陣時咧，消費者去追討嗰個嘅責任嗰陣時，唔理係誰是誰非都好，或者係咪可以追討得好，其實係非常之困難嘅，因為嗰啲公司可能係海外嘅。咁喺我哋過往去處理好多唔同嘅投訴嗰陣時，啲爭議如果係涉及去海外嘅話咧，真係好難去追嘅。咁但係咧個消費者自己本身錢唔見咗係事少啊，反而咧最大件事就係真係萬一當你喺一個療程裡面，正如頭先教授所講咧，係導致你個口腔有更加多嘅疾病，甚至係不可逆轉嘅一啲長遠嘅一啲嘅損害嘅話咧，咁其實係真係得不償失嘅。咁所以大家真係要諗清楚去做呢一啲嘅純粹係透過海外聲稱係海外牙醫，又或者係海外嘅服務嗰陣時咧，究竟對嗰個風險喺邊度？咁呢個係絕對需要係三思嘅一件事。
我補充一個啦，因為箍牙咧其實就係一個好專業嘅醫學治療嚟㗎。如果冇註冊嘅牙醫跟進咧， 或者事前幫你檢查，決定你要唔要矯齒咧。咁矯齒過程又唔幫你跟進咧，其實對個消費者嘅風險係非常之大嘅。咁所以咧，我哋想提醒消費者咧，係唔可以就住收費便宜啦，或者方便，因為真係去睇牙醫咧係真係麻煩嘅。咁咧唔係做咗呢啲咧，咁你就會好危險啦。咁誒中間出現過程嘅時候，你可能未必發現嘅，你可能好耐之後先發現咧。咁如果真係做咗永久損害咧，就好難受，亦都好難追究。咁所以大家記住咧，呢一個係一個專業嘅醫學療程，唔係普通化妝品或者普通帶一啲嘢上去咁簡單。
A similar question from the Standard. For these service providers that are not based in Hong Kong, if they provide relevant services stating dentist registrations or qualifications, in any chance that these providers are against the Trade Description Ordinance?
If they mention that they don't have any dentists registered in Hong Kong, and they're only talking about probably some dentists overseas, or probably they're only based on the computer programming and the 3D printing to give you this aligner treatment, then might not, okay? But if they say they have a registered dentist in Hong Kong, but at the end they don't, that is. And so that's the problem, that some of this product, they packaging it as a kind of commodity, and it's not a medical treatment. Actually, for this clear alignment, we consider it's really a medical treatment, it's a dental treatment, and you require a registered dentist. In Hong Kong, we have a very clear ordinance on how to become a registered dentist, and for this kind of treatment, they should be provided by a registered dentist. But unfortunately, there are many companies, they packaging it as a kind of services, and it's only selling you the product, the aligner, and then might not need a dentist. And even they say they have a team of dentists, they sometimes don't call them a dentist. And also if they register overseas, that's very difficult to ask for certain compensation if that's something not complete or not according to what you want.
And in case of any suppliers, they said they partner with any dentist in Hong Kong. Actually, the Dental Council of Hong Kong have a registered list of the orthodontists that you can refer to. So instead of just saying that there's a dentist following up with you, you can have absolute right to ask what is the name of the dentist, is it qualified, and also check that against with the Dental Council. They have the registered list online for you to make reference to.
Yeah, and some of them, they are very smart. They will say coded, a team of orthodontists. So you don't know whether they are mentioning is about registered dentists in Hong Kong or registered dentists overseas. They only quoted they have a team of expertise on that. And they will say everything relied mostly on controlling or monitoring remote through apps, through photos. And that is something very, very difficult to say whether they violate our regulations.
最後一條關於隱形牙箍服務嘅問題嘅係嚟自 AM730嘅，想問下相關嘅投訴咧，近年有冇顯著嘅增加咧？
如果講翻投訴嘅數字嚟講咧，就過去呢幾年咧都係相若，不過喺2021年相比2020年咧，2022年咧就係增加咗嘅。就喺2021年咧就有8宗，喺2022年咧有13宗。咁而咧有關於呢一啲隱形牙箍嘅消費者投訴嘅重點喺邊度咧？就係喺呢一個貨品嘅質素呢一方面咧就有2宗啦，服務嗰個質素咧亦都係有問題啦。使用之後導致口腔受損啦。療程失誤啦，修補工作導致牙齒受損啦，療程嘅時間過長啦，等等咧，令到或者係發覺係成個療程係冇效果咧。仲有咧就係如果係維修保養嗰方面咧，係牙套有爆裂咧，呢一啲咧都係消費者主要嘅投訴嚟嘅。但係另外一方面咧就係價格嗰方面嘅爭議啦，同埋銷售嗰個程序啦，即係當你去聲稱某一啲嘅療程嗰個程序嗰陣時，或者係有牙醫嘅跟進啊，或者有啲效果啊嗰陣時，但係結果咧就係唔係咁樣嘅話咧，都係會引致個投訴嘅。咁所以同埋咧個銀碼上面都唔細㗎，最高嗰個金額咧就係去到45,000蚊，而平均咧每一個嘅個案咧係過去呢段時間咧都有成13,000蚊或者係22,000蚊左緊。咁所以大家都要知道咧。儘管可能大家會話揾翻傳統嘅箍牙嘅牙醫去做去跟進你嗰個成個箍牙嗰個嘅療程係會比較貴啲，但係大家唔好忘記咧 就算你係平咗啲啦嚇，但係嗰個跟進係冇咁好嘅話咧，正如頭先不斷咁樣重複去講咧，可能對你棚牙自己本身咧係會有一個好大嘅風險，甚至咧係去到牙齒嘅壞死或者引致其他疾病。咁所以大家咧去揾呢一啲嘅服務嗰陣時咧，就真係千祈唔好諗住貪方便貪平。最緊要咧就係夠專業，同埋咧係真係睇清楚你棚牙係適唔適合做，點樣做，個風險喺邊度，講得清清楚楚，同埋啲跟進係應該點樣做法咧，咁先至好決定究竟你會唔會做呢一個箍牙嘅一個療程。
跟住落嚟咧係到洗衣乾衣機嘅問題嘅，咁就呢一個題目底下咧，我哋就有一個問題嘅啫。咁條問題咧就係話咧，消委會有冇比較過使用呢啲洗衣乾衣機同用洗衣機再加埋另外用乾衣機呢一兩種嘅洗衫模式，邊一種較有效能同埋更加符合能源效益咧？有冇啲咩嘅選購建議咧？
嗱，如果係講洗衫，如果洗衫嚟講咧，用洗衣乾衣機洗衫同用洗衣機去洗衫咧，根據我哋過往嗰個嘅測試嗰個嘅結論嚟睇咧，其實佢嗰個能源效益咧都係差唔多嘅啫。咁但係當然啦，唔同嘅型號咧喺佢哋嗰個耗電同埋耗水量咧，都係會有佢嗰個分別嘅。主要係因為佢哋嗰個產品嗰個設計，即係話嗰個洗衣機嗰個設計。咁但係若果係講佢嗰個嘅相差程度大唔大咧？係唔大嘅，其實都係差唔多嘅啫。咁但係乾衣就唔同啦。如果係洗衣乾衣機同埋乾衣機，即係純乾衣機去比較嘅話咧，如果係每公斤去計算嘅咧，就係其實乾衣機咧就可能就會比洗衣乾衣機去比較慳電。咁點解咧？就因為係乾衣機自己本身嗰個設計咧，嗰個滾筒咧就係比較大啲啊。咁如果佢個滾筒係比較大啲嘅話咧，就可以幫助到啲熱空氣咧，就係喺滾筒裡面去流動。同埋咧就係因為咁咧就可以加快咗個乾衣嗰個嘅速度。咁因為咁咧亦都可以慳電啲啦。咁所以咧就洗衣就冇乜大分別，但係洗衣乾衣機同埋純乾衣機咧喺嗰個嘅嗰個嘅慳電嘅程度嗰度咧就會有呢一個唔同嘅地方啦。咁但係咧當然啦，就係點解好多人會諗買洗衣乾衣機咧，就係因為佢慳位啊嘛。咁所以如果你係諗住拆開嚟買嘅話咧，好多時就係考慮咧就屋企嗰度究竟夠唔夠咁多位去擺洗衣機同埋乾衣機分別兩部啦。咁另外咧就當然你買兩部唔同嘅機嘅話，嗰個價錢亦都係會比較高啲啦。咁所以呢一啲咧都係消費者去考慮嘅。咁仲有咧，其實我哋都有比較埋嘅，就係用抽濕機同呢一個乾衣機究竟嗰個嘅會唔會，或者係用呢一個洗衣乾衣機會邊樣嘢慳電啲咧？咁當然咧，就亦都喺睇翻每一樣唔同嘅電器呢一方面嗰個嘅設計啦。咁但係要留意一樣嘢咧，就係洗衣乾衣機咧，就喺乾衣嗰陣時咧就係需要用水嘅。係因為點解佢要用水咧？就係因為佢要冷卻乾衣喺過程裡面咧，機內裡面產生咗嗰啲濕氣，將呢啲濕氣咧要凝聚成為水滴之後咧，就要去排走。咁但係抽濕機咧就唔需要用水嘅，所以從慳水嗰個角度嚟講咧，抽濕機咧就可以慳水啲。咁但係咧亦都係相對嚟講環保啲啦，因為咁。咁但係咧就如果你係用抽濕機去乾衣嗰陣時咧，就最大嘅唔好處咧，你就要揾到個空間啦，即係你要揾一個比較密封啲嘅地方、細啲嘅地方，將啲衣物去晾起，跟住然後咧就之後等用個抽濕機去慢慢乾。但係洗衣乾衣機就唔使啦，因為喺部機嗰度咧就係做晒嚇。咁但係個唔好處咧，佢就冇咁慳水。咁所以咧就大家消費者去諗嗰陣時咧，就要即係睇下自己本身嗰個生活嘅習慣，究竟係我洗衫多啲啊，定係我中意洗完衫之後好多時都要用乾衣機啊？定係原來我屋企有部抽濕機，有空間咧就可以嗌嚟乾衣嘅。咁呢啲都係每一個人唔同嘅考慮。但係喺個電費嗰方面咧，其實嗰個嘅參差都會係幾大嘅。因為洗衫咧，我哋一般嚟講咧係根據我哋今次嘅估算嘅電費同埋水費電費嚟講咧，最低洗衫嘅話咧可以係由幾毫子，但係去到最貴咧係大約個幾去到2蚊到。但係乾衫就唔同啦，因為乾衫用嘅熱會比較多啲。譬如話棉質嘅衣物啦，可能係由去到4蚊去到11蚊不等。咁所以大家乾一機衫咧，就千祈唔好諗係會好平，其實都係10零蚊嘅去乾一機衫。咁如果你洗衫連乾衣嘅話咧，可能嗰個如果係棉質衣物嘅話咧，可能由4個2去到12個幾。咁所以大家即係會去諗用邊一個程式同埋點樣去。即係洗衫啊，當然係得一個主要係得一個方法啦。一係你只係揀嗰啲唔同嘅質地嗰個嘅即 係報料嘅啫。咁但係咧就若果係究竟乾唔乾埋衫咧呢一樣嘢咧，咁就大家真係可以去自己去衡量下究竟屋企嘅環境啦、天氣啦等等啦嚇，去考慮究竟你係用咩方法去乾衣啦。
或者我補充一句啊，你都知我係環保人士。其實如果香港你嘅家居咧係可以有地方乾衫咧，其實最好咧就係如果天氣乾爽或者有太陽嘅日子咧，最環保嘅方法咧，其實就係將啲濕嘅衫咧吹風係涼乾佢嘅。咁咧就唔一定要用乾衣機，因為咁樣咧就可以令到你更加慳錢，亦都慳水啦，亦都慳電。咁所以咧，如果個屋企環境咧係可以乾衫，而天氣又唔係好潮濕嗰一堆日子咧，譬如就有時乾燥好乾燥咧，其實最好就自然晾乾。咁呢個咧就係我哋一路都希望可以推廣嘅一樣嘢。
跟住落嚟係關於雞精嘅問題嘅。咁第一條咧就問到話點解會有雞精嘅樣本咧係驗出黃曲霉毒素？喺雞精嗰個產品製作嘅時候，可唔可以避免呢一種毒素嘅咧？
我哋今次驗出有黃曲霉毒素嘅咧，嗰個樣本咧係一個素滴雞精嚟嘅。咁今次驗出嗰個量值咧都係比較微量啲。咁佢個原料咧就係植物抽取即係主要都係用從植物裡面去抽取嘅一啲物質啦。咁點解會有黃曲霉毒素咧？就可能就係原材料咧喺處理儲存環境同埋運輸嗰陣時咧嘅生產嗰度有相關。咁譬如生產商如果係將收割之後嘅原材料或者加工之後嘅半成品係適當咁樣去儲存嘅話，唔係喺一啲好高溫或者係潮濕嘅環境底下咧，就可以咧就係盡量減低咗呢一個霉菌生長嗰個產生嗰個毒素。咁所以咧我哋估咧今次咧就呢一個黃曲霉毒素所驗出嘅量裡面咧，可能就係從佢嗰個嘅運輸啦、生產嗰個過程或者係原材料嗰個處理嗰方面嘅問題。不過真正嘅原因咧就因為我哋自己冇直接去做一個探究啦嚇，咁所以咧都係要揾翻即係相關嘅生產商咧，好多時都係㗎啦，佢哋自己都一定要自己做翻自己嗰個品質嗰個檢控檢測，就係去睇翻究竟點解會出現咗呢一個問題咯。
最後一條關於雞精嘅問題咧，就係情報問嘅產品普遍聲稱咧係高蛋白質，但係實際咧就比原型食品更低，咁有冇違反到商品說明條例咧？
其實唔係比原型食品更低，而係其實咧係你要食多啲先至可以達到原型嘅食品，或者咧係要俾多啲錢嘅。咁所以咧其實就唔係話佢嘅高低問題，而係就係話你食同樣需要吸收咁嘅多蛋白質咧，你會發覺咧係食呢個原型嘅物品咧會多好多。你即係我哋正話都俾咗呢個，就係話如果你係要攞26.3克嘅蛋白質，咁你食雞髀100克就已經有啦，就5個8啫嘛。但係咧，如果你食呢個雞精咧，咁你要食多啲啦，咁你要俾嘅錢多啲咁解啫。咁如果咧，佢如果標明有幾多蛋白質，而係我哋驗出嚟嘅，同佢嗰個差異唔係好大咧，咁你唔可以去違反咗商品說明條例咯。咁所以就會視乎咧，佢標籤自己有幾多蛋白質，然之後我哋驗出係幾多，咁然之後先至可唔可以違反咯。咁所以我哋就係話，你食呢啲雞精，如果純粹係為咗蛋白質嘅，咁你不如食啲原型嘅食品啦咁樣。咁但係當然你呢啲雞精咧就因為已經經過佢嘅提煉咧，係已經將啲蛋白質咧變成可溶性嘅蛋白質。咁所以有啲人咧係消化系統有問題，即係要消化呢個蛋白質嘅酶咧係有問題，個功能唔夠好嘅話，咁你已經係食咗呢啲可溶性嘅蛋白質，咁咪容易啲吸收咯。但係記住喎，當你用呢啲滴雞精咩雞精都好咧，其實有好多不可溶性嘅蛋白質。咁嗰啲咧就會留翻啲雞肉裏邊嘅，咁所以即係話其實你都食唔到嗰啲不可溶性嘅蛋白質咯。咁所以就會因應自己嘅需要而決定啦。咁但係我哋覺得好多時食呢啲所謂健康產品啦，或者保健產品，尤其是有啲病人好似手術後啊，佢哋覺得要補下咯，其實好緊要，一定要問翻醫生同埋營養師，我適唔適合食呢一樣嘢？咁如果唔係咧，其實你唔一定冇風險，因為有啲人其實唔適合食㗎。
我想答翻就係咪違反商品說明條例咧？就係話究竟佢係咪高蛋白質？咁我哋今次嗰個嘅測試結果顯示咧，其實大部分嘅樣本咧，佢嘅聲稱話係高蛋白質咧，都係如實嘅，佢係高蛋白質嘅。咁所以咧就唔係話違反咗商品嘅說明條例。咁但係反而今次我哋嗰個嘅側重點咧，就係講緊個性價比嗰個問題啫。因為其實你食原形嘅食物同食呢一個雞精。咁嗰個你攝取同一樣嘅蛋白質啊，當然佢亦都有其他嘅好處。咁但係攝取同一樣嘅蛋白質嗰陣時，嗰個性價比喺邊一度？咁我唔再重複嗰個細節啦。咁同埋咧，我亦都會睇到雞精咧，就係 佢係有另外一啲好處嘅，佢係低鈉同埋幾乎係冇脂肪。咁當然有啲人係好着重脂肪嗰個攝入嗰啲人咧，就好想揾一啲比較低脂嘅一啲代替品。咁但係咧，我亦喺呢一度咧，亦都要提醒翻消費者嘅，儘管佢係比較低脂啦嚇，但係人體咧就係需要呢一個脂肪嘅。即係等於我哋需要呢一個碳水化合物啦，又或者係其他嘅一啲嘅營養素啦嚇，係需要嘅。咁所以咧，就如果係完全個人係太過冇脂肪嗰陣時咧，其實可能咧都係會引起其他一啲嘅健康嗰個嘅考慮。咁所以咧就大家當去考慮去食雞精嗰陣時，當然就要諗下咧，就係主要係睇翻嗰個性價比嗰方面嘅問題。究竟係咪值得花費好多倍嘅價錢去攝取同一樣嘅蛋白質咯？呢個就係我哋今次嗰個嘅重點嚟嘅。
好，咁跟住落嚟咧，就最後一組嘅問題咧，就係關於投訴嘅個案嘅。咁首先我哋嚟第一條問題啦，就係嚟自情報嘅問題嘅。咁喺個案 B 入邊咧，相關嘅補習公司嘅人員咧，就聲稱係由社工推介，同埋係屬於政府人員。咁消委會有冇核實到嗰間公司係咪即係真係由社工推介嘅咧？咁如果係嘅話，有冇涉及利益輸送問題？如果唔係咧，嗰間公司有冇觸犯到假冒公職人員法咧？
嗱，其實咧消委會咧喺我哋嗰個嘅職能上邊咧，我哋就冇能力去話去核實即係直情去查究竟嗰間公司究竟係咪假冒一啲嘅一啲機構啦嚇。咁但係咧成個過程裏面咧，我哋都已經攞咗呢一個投訴人嗰個嘅允許咧，就係將佢成個個案咧就交俾海關去跟進嘅。咁所以而家執法機關咧就係都係會檢視緊呢一個個案裡面究竟會唔會有觸犯呢一個商品説明條例嗰個嘅情況。
不過我哋最後應該知道係海關調查過之後咧，覺得冇足夠證據咧係 B 公司觸犯商品説明條例。因為其實嗰個爭議點喺邊度咧？就係佢個投訴人以為係上門補習，但係咧嗰個公司嘅職員就個收據裏面寫得好清楚，唔係上門補習。咁所以如果佢個收據寫得好清楚，而嗰個投訴人就係你口頭上同我講係，而且我唔識字，咁呢個咧有時真係好難去告到究竟邊個啱邊個錯，因為唔知係佢聽錯，或者係個職員真係誤導佢。咁但係一般嚟講都係淨係睇白紙黑字嘅收據啦，大部分。咁所以如果呢個收據寫得好清楚，佢係會係淨係得喺 WhatsApp 或者打電話咧，就唔係上門啦。咁好多時呢個可能係一個誤會。咁所以咧消委會將呢個個案俾咗海關之後咧，海關調查過之後咧，覺得冇證據起訴呢個 B 公司話佢觸犯咗商品説明條例咯。咁所以呢個就，但係如果投訴人可以再繼續去做其他嘅方式，都可以繼續跟進呢件事咯。咁到時或者就會涉及到你講嘅究竟有冇虛假啊？究竟上門嗰人點解啊？咁呢啲咧就係唔係今次嘅個案裏邊嘅重點咯。
A similar question from RTHK English News. This home tutorial service has been referred to the customs for follow-up, but there was insufficient evidence that Company B had violated the TDO. Could this be just a miscommunication?
That's very difficult to understand whether it's a miscommunication or whether it's a purposely do that, because the complainant say that she is illiterate and she could not understand the writing, but and then she say the staff really say that it's a face-to-face home tutorial, but on the receipt it's clearly say that it's not home tutorial. It's either via telephone or via the apps. And so everything when it comes to a kind of disagreement, we will probably rely on what is written down on the receipt. And therefore, this case was referred to C&E, and then at the end they say it's not enough evidence to say the company is violate the situation, the regulation. But whether the staff really misled the complainant, then nobody really knows. But it's clear that the complainant cannot understand the writing or understand things in writing, and she says verbally, the staff really tell her that. But of course, there's no way we can judge which is correct, or whether it's a misunderstanding, or whether it's a lying. Therefore, I think if the complainant thinks she has the right, she can go to other means to follow up with this case.
Will there be any tips that consumers can do to safeguard their rights?
Oh, I think very, very important is when you subscribe for this further education courses, you really need to know the learning scope, the goal of the communication, and also the way they deliver the courses. And therefore, you need to really look at the details of the courses and offered by the different institutions, like the content, as I mentioned, the fees, the format, the time, location, as well as the arrangement for payment. Because some of this you can get repayment from CEF, the Consumer Education Fund. And then also sometimes they can have make-up classes and cancellation. So the consumer, before they subscribe for any of these further courses, they have to really look into these details. And also, especially, they don't make a rush judgment. They have to really think carefully, and sometimes you may even have a trial lessons. And then refrain from rushing into payment of reservation fee or something like that. And also, if you want to get refund, you have to look in CEF reimbursement details, and they have very clear guideline on what can be reimbursed and what cannot be reimbursed, and what is needed in your receipt. And for example, like this one, the testing fee, they should write down in the receipt. If they don't, then you may not get the reimbursement. And if there's more than 1 month courses, you should pay the registrants or the school fee or the tuition fee monthly, but not at one go. Otherwise, CEF might not give you the reimbursement. And so all these details, you have to really look details. And also you need to look at your lead, particularly if a parent for the children. They should look at the children's lead and what kind of format is best for them. And also you look at the reputation of the course and the school before you make the judgment. So all these are in the Consumer Council's Choice magazine.
The last question for today, also from RTHK English News. There were 134 complaints about language course last year. How worrying is this, and what are consumers' main concerns?
According to our last year's statistics, we have 130 cases. As compared with the year before, 2021, it is 142 cases. There's a slight drop. But the highest number actually we recorded in the year of 2020. We have 252 cases. The key complaint area is about the change in termination of the contract. We have 48 cases. So that attribute to about 1/3 or 1/4, of the complaint cases, and followed by the sales trade practices is 34 cases, and then is the quality of service. There's 23 cases. So I think the number of complaints is very similar to the previous year, and a lot of it residing on whether the education institution has clearly tell the consumers about the terms and conditions of the courses, and also whether they have make very detailed assessment about the qualification or the capability of the consumers before they promote or maybe recommend any specific clauses for them. Because if this part is not clear, that would create a lot of misunderstanding, and also afterwards, a lot of dispute, asking for a possible refund, change in course, or maybe in case the institution is reject, to refund, that will create a strong complaint, filed with the Consumer Council. So we would urge the education institution, actually, you have the obligation to describe to tell the consumers in detail about the terms and conditions of your courses, and also especially if it is continuing education fund, if it fall into the ambit of the fund, you have to advise the consumer very clearly about the requirements, and also to follow the requirement of the fund strictly, so that there's no dispute, to create afterwards. So these are the major area of the complaints. Is it alarming? Of course, every time when we spot the complaints, we would like to have a drop in the number in the coming year through better industry practices and also better consumer education on that front.
好，唔該晒。喺結束今日嘅新聞發佈會之前呢，總幹事咧有啲説話同大家講一講嘅。
好啦，嗱，咁呢一度咧就都俾我哋做一啲嘅宣傳先啦。就係我哋虎年嘅10大消費新聞選舉咧，就第2階段咧就嚟完啦，就最撈尾嗰個階段咧就會喺1月24號，即係仲有9日到咧就係會完㗎啦。 咁希望大家咧就踴躍支持我哋呢個10大消費新聞選舉，因為呢一個咧都係消費者喺每一年裏面最關注嘅消費新聞咧，我哋係作出一個投票嘅。咁而咧就贏頭獎咧係非常之吸引嘅，係一個5000蚊嘅禮品卡。另外咧就係每一個階段咧，我哋都會再抽出呢一個10名嘅得獎者，咁咧就係有成港幣咧成200蚊嘅禮品卡。咁希望大家咧都全力支持我哋呢一個虎年嘅10大消費新聞選舉。咁點樣可以投票咧？咁其實咧上我哋消委會嗰個網站嗰度咧，就已經可以即刻可以投到票噶啦。要嘅時間都唔多，係只係1-2分鐘就已經可以投完票。咁希望大家踴躍支持我哋呢一個10大消費新聞嘅選舉。
好啦，喺完之前咧，我台面有呢張嘅。咁因為咧虎年咧仲有唔夠2個禮拜就完啦，兔年就嚟啦。咁我喺呢度先祝大家咧兔年咧就身體健康，出入平安。大吉大利，工作愉快。咁我哋兔年再見，多謝大家。
開心消費，大家
精明消費者，
精明消費。
好，
多謝晒兩位，多謝晒咁多位，唔該晒。